I pressed the fucking button.
Press the
Self perfected.
Let's go! Come and get the news, get some common sense too. Breaking through the filter that's been clouding the view. Step out the algorithm, take back control. No bias, no opinion, just pure gold. Tune in, wake up, it's time to reflect. What's best for all is what we dissect. No spins, no games, just the truth in your ear. Self-perfected, making things clear. So if you're ready to see and you're ready to choose, come and get the news with the common sense view. Self-perfected, making things clear.
Good morning. Good morning, world.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Yeah, I was kind of picturing we have some intro like that. You ever see at those UFC events? It was like, and now the main event. I was picturing Drake could probably do that for us. I'm just kidding. I think I would. Out of all of us, I think I would have to be that guy, and I'm not going to do that. Not yet.
I want to be one of the showgirls that holds up the stuff.
Drake
That'll
can
be
be
after my
the fighter
transition.
in the ring. I'll be the announcer guy.
Okay.
I have to wear that like fancy tuxedo though. You know, I forget the guy's name, but it's like an iconic thing. So,
You have
hey,
to
good
fight-
morning,
You have
everyone.
to fight your own ego.
Bruce
Drake versus
Sup,
Ego.
y'all?
Hey,
Bruce Segal?
Bruce Buffer. I think that's his
Bruce
name.
Buffer, that's his name.
Yeah, Austin, you could probably do that.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh,
That's
you
the guy who makes
recognize it.
the UFC announcements.
Oh, okay.
And he shouts just like I was.
And then I think his brother is the one who does the.
You guys are worrying me that you know that.
He's the one. His brother is the one that does the boxing ones. The because they have
How do you know
trademark.
this? Okay, how about WWE? Okay,
Yeah,
that's the
trademark.
real.
Let's get
the
ready to
realest one
rumble.
out of them all is WWE, aka our political system.
Speaking of WWE,
Speaking of WWE, dude, last night before I went to bed, I'm like, let me just check X real quick.
same.
Make sure, make sure nothing crazy happened. Oh, something crazy happened.
Something crazy happened, and it gets
Dude, do you
Very
know who
crazy.
Do you know who the guy was on stage?
Wait. Can we slow down and tell people what's going on?
No. Not yet.
okay. Here we go. Let's start.
Dude, you know who Oz Perlman is? The guy who was on stage at the moment it happened?
I said some. You tell me because I don't know it for
He's
sure.
a fucking mentalist hypnotist.
He's like Yuri Geller of like today.
Yes, he was on. I didn't watch it, but he was on the Modern Wisdom podcast, and it's like mentalist hypnotist blows Chris's mind with knowing something about. So he's like literally the fucking master hypnotist.
And for my
is on-
next trick, I'll make everyone disappear. I'll make the president disappear out of this room.
Yeah, and then you see like the reaction because it looks like Melania's face is like, but I think it's like before the actual thing goes. I don't know, dude.
I know, I
We're
saw
gonna
that
go
too.
deep
I
down
saw
the
that.
rabbit hole. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, this is crazy. Like, I just want to say real quick, like, I've been doing my live streaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like 2 nights ago, so not last night, but the night before, I went into like a whole fucking deep dive on Yuri Geller,
Oh shit. Okay, I
like
missed
and
that one.
spoon bending and all
Oh,
the different his
man.
CIA experiments that they tested his psychic abilities and shit. Like, that's fucking weird, dude. That then
It's all coming together, guys.
it said
It's
I
all
saw a
coming
tweet
together.
where somebody says Oz is a magician. I was like, Dr. Oz is also a magician. I thought they were talking
Yeah.
about Dr. Oz. I didn't. know
Yeah,
they
no,
were-
I guess his name is Oz Perlman. I never really looked into him, but he's like
Oz,
modern day.
the Wizard of Oz.
Dude, okay, hold on.
Yes.
That's weird because I've only just heard of Oz Perlman like 3 days ago. I saw a post that was I'm looking for a magician to hire for a 1-hour event, and this guy
like
quoted
White
me,
House Correspondence Center. Last minute. Okay, who do we get?
This guy quoted me $165,000 for an hour. There's got to be somebody cheaper, right?
That's
And then
hilarious.
So I guess maybe they were like somebody was making that a meme, and it was Oz Perlman was the name, obviously, and just to like get people introduced to like who is Oz Perlman and like.
Of course, it's like the textbook fucking thing. It's like textbook false flag. So anyway, in case anyone was not on X last night at 8 p.m., there was. What do we objectively know is true? Trump was hosting the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Well, not hosting, but what?
I don't even know if that was really happening at this point.
So there's this thing called the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and at it there was a shot fired.
Oh,
apparently
there was somebody rushing the lobby, and then the Secret Service or whoever or police like shot him, and he even shot one of the officers maybe, and so they killed him, and then that was during the actual dinner, and then they got Trump and
yeah, so they like flooded Trump out of the room and Melania, and then
wait, they killed
Secret
him,
Service
and then they handcuffed him.
Well, that's
you know,
standard operating
just to make
procedure.
sure he wasn't a zombie.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you clearly see like Secret Service and like the guys in full on machine guns and helmets and stuff like come on the stage. So it looked dramatic. There's a funny CNN feed then of where all the people are kind of like crouching under their tables, and this one congressman is just like taking a bite of his dessert.
I love that one. It was like this guy, he was sitting there, like everyone's crouching, and you see this guy like just go into his little bowl, and he's like eating something. I'm like, this guy, man.
It's kind of like habit, right? You're like watching WWE, and you have to like eat.
He's like, I'm
popcorn.
stuck here. Might as well enjoy the food.
Dude, we have Arabian Nights or Medieval Nights. You guys have that? You know?
No, I think you talked about this.
Is this a place you go to?
Yeah. It's a place. Yeah. Yes. Okay, we have talked about it because that was Cam's first question the last time. Yeah.
You're bringing me back 105 episodes.
That's right. But it's like you go and you sit in a, I guess it's a large round like pen for horses, but you don't know that yet. You're just sitting there.
It's like a Knight's Tale.
So it's like an
I've not
interactive
seen
dinner
that
theater
one.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Do you get giant? I know I've probably asked this before. Do you get giant turkey legs?
You get giant turkey legs.
Oh shit.
And you eat with your hands. You don't get a fork and knife
Why would you?
because you're, a king or a knight or I don't know.
Why would a king?
You guys,
eat forks?
we should make one of
Yeah.
those, but it's of the history of mankind, and you're like you're like an Atlantean, and then you get like sucked in.
You're being like reincarnated.
You just have to eat water.
You get reincarnated into the Stone Age.
Yeah, self-perfected theater, guys. Maybe one day.
Bro.
Yeah. So that was pretty crazy.
So you know what's really interesting about this whole thing is it's coming at a time right after, for whatever reason, Tim Dillon just recently did another breakdown of when Trump was shot in the
Thomas
ear.
Crooks one.
Yeah, exactly. And just looking at the film footage of like, okay, Trump is shot or shot at, and then why are they moving these photographers into position? Why did all of a sudden the flag come down? Like just
The
in
flag
this
comes
moment,
down right after it.
literally right after the flag comes down, they move the photographers into position. It's all like just like that's really suspicious.
That's crazy.
You know?
Okay, can I do a little schizo conspiracy theory for you?
Go
guys?
ahead, Schizo.
I already texted
You're
you.
our
This is
resident
what I come here
Schizo.
for.
Yeah.
I come here for.
Dude, it's crazy because I was like, I did this whole live stream last night on another whole crazy schizo thing. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll talk about that. We got some things we can talk about. And then we're like, nah, we got a new one already. The Matrix just keeps dropping new.
Dude,
Okay,
and that,
so-
that red pill or the red button, blue button, we definitely got to touch on.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
later.
That's exactly. That's what we were like. We'll talk about
I was
that.
like thinking, I was thinking that was going to be the whole arc
Okay,
of the story today.
so hold on. Before
Let's get this non-story out of the way so we can talk about what we really want
But
to talk
before
about.
that, guys, did you see Palantir's new commercial? Can I show you guys this first?
Sure.
I think this could warm us up. All right, so new commercial just dropped. Let's watch it.
Listen up, losers. Stop pretending it's a democracy. We run things. Give up the illusion, and in exchange, we will bring you order and efficiency. Yes, we'll own you. But do you really want to be free? Trust us. We know what to do. While Silicon Valley was feeding you dope and free email, we built the architecture of empire. Welcome to our world, motherfuckers. We aren't here to protect your privacy. We are here to enforce supremacy. We are the ledger now. Every tax return, every Medicaid file, every license plate, every crossing. Your president signed it into being with a pen in March. You kept scrolling. Your politicians are empty vessels. Your civil liberties are a liability. We are done pretending all cultures are equal. We know who the elites are, we know what we are building, and we demand that you applaud the billionaires taking the reins where your fragile democracies have failed. Welcome to the technological republic. You can stop scrolling now. We already have everything we need. Try to unplug us. We dare you. Now get the fuck out of here, you peasant. Listen up.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I like the little
Okay.
shaking.
I don't. I'm probably not going to go into all this. We're not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we have time for today. But the live stream I did last night, you guys, it would blow your fucking minds. Like,
I'll watch that replay. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I wanted to watch
Can
it.
you give us at least a little teaser?
No. I'll
maybe
go
we'll
watch it.
come to
At
it. in a
least tell me
little
the
bit.
title.
The
No,
thing
no,
is,
Do you
no.
have a title?
I don't
It's
want
called
to.
Last Night.
I don't want to not do it justice, so I just scare the shit out of everybody and not be able to direct it. So you can be like, okay, I see what the whole picture is here. But that live stream I did, the stuff I went through was like fucking insane, and it has a lot to do with the Palantir. The whole thing that guy that what's his face Carp was just talking about. But why don't we schizo post for a second? Okay, so the shooter's name, okay, last night, this alleged shooter who they killed.
Oh,
His
no.
name, he was a teacher from California named Cole something Allen. Okay, Cole Allen. So then, of course, immediately the internet's looking for any reference to this guy, right? So they find this post, okay, of this Henry Martinez account from 2023. It says Cole Allen. That's the only post on the account.
Oh, no.
What the
It's
It's
the only
fucking-
post on the account. Okay.
Yeah.
2023. 2023. Would that have been? This would have been after Butler, right?
Mm, let's see.
Before the inauguration in 2024.
When was...
Or was it? No, that was
Butler PA
2025.
shooting? 2020, July 13th, 2024 was
Right,
the-
because 2025 is when he
Butler.
went into office. Was the beginning
Yeah.
of last year.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was recent.
Not that it really matters. I was just curious. Okay, so this is the only post on the account. This is his background. Okay, some random banner image. Okay, the only post. So then people started looking into, okay, we got this thing. And then what is that picture in the background? So they traced it to a website called Time Machine. Okay,
No.
so look at this image.
So when was this image uploaded?
I don't know. It was on that it was posted. No, the account was posted. It comes from a 2022 website called Time Machine, but it doesn't really matter because it's his banner image. I don't know, but the thing is, I don't know when the banner image was uploaded. But look at the picture, okay?
I see it.
No fucking way.
Show next to each other. Yeah, just
No,
show
no,
it right
no,
next
no,
to each
no.
other. Look at it.
No. Do that again. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to load that Time Machine website. 3D digitization.
Holy shit.
Now it looks different though, doesn't it? Or no, it doesn't.
does.
I mean, you can see the face and the arm if you look for it.
No, it's the same. It's the same picture.
Okay. Can you go back and do that again?
So which
Side by
one?
side.
See, look at here's Trump's head.
We can't see what you're looking at. You
Oh, I'm sorry.
left
I
us,
did-
we can't see
I had
it.
to share it
you
back,
left
sorry.
us somewhere else.
Okay. So here's Trump's head.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
can
his
you,
fist.
Can you see my cursor?
I can see your cursor now.
Okay. Trump's head. There's the fist. Right. There's the other guy's head. Someone did a they did a video version of it kind of like fading into the
Yep,
other
there
one.
it is. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. That is
fucking. I mean, it seems like, oh, that's just a weird, but it's on the fucking page. What the hell? Look, now everybody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? 7 20. What is this 20? 9 plus 5 plus 6. 15, 15, 20, 18, 19. Okay, that's just some random shit the person's putting together. Maybe they're right, though.
That's just some other schizo shit.
And then apparently this guy, Henry Martinez
No.
was a here where it's right here. According to Cole Thomas Allen's LinkedIn, he interned at NASA in 2014. NASA published a paper in 2014, and Henry Martinez was an author, which is the same name as this person's account here. And the Cole Allen, which may or may not be the same guy, but the same name, was a fellow at, or was a undergrad at JPL.
Which, for anyone who didn't see it, is the Jet Propulsion Laboratory,
Which
has
connects-
also been in
which
the news.
somehow connects
also
to
been
the
in the
missing
news.
scientists with the jet, with the
Oh
rocket
my God,
stuff,
with
and
the
the
disclosure.
UFO shit, and like all this. It's like a schizo's wonderland right now, guys.
Oh man, what the fuck? So
Damn, you must be in heaven.
So it's unknown basically when that photo was made. It would seem as though the Trump Butler event happened, that photo was taken, and then later it was turned into this modified cover
No,
photo.
no. That photo
But-
is from 2022, or a 2022 website, anyway.
The
website's
tie-dye
from
photo.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. But was it actually on the website at that date, or was it added retroactively
I don't know.
after Trump's right? That so the logical brain says, oh, it was just, afterwards.
Perhaps, but why is it called Time Machine? What's the deal with that website?
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to the actual full
Yeah, why
website.
is
Hold on. Okay. So I just clicked on the actual website.
What is going on? Is it called timemachine.com? What's it? What's the
.eu,
actual?
adding a new dimension to the past, building a time machine, become a part of the time machine.
What?
What is this? What is the
What?
time machine? Become a part of the time machine?
The continent, Europe. In archives, beneath stones, in crumpled maps and winding streets, in pictures and paintings, in the depth of its green forests, history in Europe lies everywhere.
Lies everywhere.
How does one preserve and explore such a dense and fragmented past? How does one bring it into resonance with our contemporary world?
Resonance. Why does it sound ominous?
In 2012, the Digital Humanities Lab at the École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne launched the Venice Time Machine and offered unique virtual
Venice?
What about Venice?
Did you not hear him say liquid?
Well, we don't have time to go into all of that, but like if you read Jason Giorgiani, there's a definite connection with Venice.
immersion into history, thanks to the development of big data and artificial intelligence technology. Since then, dozens of European cities have taken similar steps. Each now contributes to the creation of a unified temporal exploration tool accessible to all. All these initiatives are now gathered within a consortium that groups together more than 250 European partners, universities, archives, research centers, and also private companies. Time Machine participants include historians, engineers, geographers, developers, entrepreneurs, researchers from a variety of backgrounds, as well as ordinary citizens, defenders of their heritage.
Chaque ville du réseau de la Time Machine
Okay. So it's like a digitization of the
On the
past.
surface, that's what it looks like, but
That's
it
what
could
it
be
looks
some
like.
Big Brother shit where they're trying to rewrite history.
No. I know what it is. This is
What
a
is it,
fucking alien from the future trying to enter into our past. Then this is how they're doing it.
Obviously, that's Occam's razor.
Duh.
Come on.
The most likely event.
I've been going in on some of the Giorgiani stuff too, man.
And
That shit's crazy. His one with Jesse Michaels, where he goes all out with that.
yeah, in the White Room.
Yeah,
Isn't that
Yeah.
one great?
I just finished Prometheus
real
Now,
wild.
is his first book. It's
Yeah.
it's fucking wild, dude. At the end, he's talking about he's going through like the Old Testament, and like, you know, when they were in the desert and they would have this object in the sky that they would follow at night during
Yeah.
the day or whatever, and then it would stop and they'd have the Ark of the Covenant there, and then it's like similar to the object that was described whenever Gabriel came to see like Muhammad in the desert and shit, and like it's crazy. Dude. That book's
Maybe-
actually really cool because he goes into like a lot of deep philosophy as well, like all kinds of stuff. He talks about a lot of it in the interviews, but like he's kind of giving you like the conversational version. But the books that he writes are like they're like fucking scholarly, like philosophical, like it's a lot of shit in there.
You know, what's funny is it reminds me of Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Weren't they trying to describe that in that movie? I think it
I
was
was
that
way
one.
too young to understand anything.
Yeah,
from that
like it
movie.
was some kind of
Like if you looked at the Ark of the Covenant, like
Yeah.
you know, your face would melt or something. Is that
yeah,
what
yeah,
happened?
yeah. If you opened it up or whatever, and then it was like killing Nazis.
And then it was also
Oh,
somehow
shit,
strangely
yeah, the
connected
Nazis in
to like
there.
Yeah,
a crystal head of like an alien, right?
Oh yeah. The crystal skull or whatever. Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually forgot
right.
about
I'm not.
that.
I'm not.
I think that-
like,
that was a- that
I'm
was
not
a
combining
different
two
one, though.
different movies, right?
Well, there was multiple
think it's a
Indiana
separate
Jones
one.
movies. One of them
Oh,
was.
okay.
I think that was like the more recent one they did,
Oh, okay.
but it's still about Nazis, obviously. And who
always
made those movies? Who made those movies?
Oh no! Don't tell me. It's
Who was it that made those?
Who made Indiana?
Somebody
Yeah,
who.
can you
Dude,
look it
that
up,
was like a
Mitch?
core memory of. Yep, fucking Spielberg and George Lucas.
And who's making the
Spiel.
Disclosure Day movie?
Dude,
this
and George
summer?
Lucas fucking with Star
Wait,
Wars, dude.
Wait, hold on. Wait, when does that Disclosure Day movie come out?
I think it's the June 12th. Release
Is it?
date. Yeah, June 12th,
Oh,
2026.
okay. All right.
Why? Were you gonna like?
Gonna go time machine on this?
I thought it was today, honestly.
What if? No, I'm definitely going to it when it comes out. I'm getting front row to that shit.
You're gonna get front row brainwashed.
I'm definitely going to that.
All of my work, all of my live streams for naught. But at least you'll have been prepared.
Yeah, I mean,
the
I want to see
downloads.
what they're like, how they're positioning it, right? I want to, because dude, there's gonna be so many fucking people who see that movie.
I am not going to any fucking movie theaters in any major cities.
No, I live in the
yeah,
Disclosure
definitely
Day.
don't go in Minneapolis.
No, I don't go to the fucking Minneapolis theater.
I'm just saying.
small
That would
town.
You have a
definitely
theater
be
in your
ground
house.
zero.
Yeah, dude, I know. That would be ground zero. Yeah, they definitely
Yeah.
got some psyop fucking harp shit mind controlling people here.
You're not allowed.
It's the movie, Mitch. The movie itself is the fucking mind control.
I know. I'm gonna break the fucking mind control. So I remember being a kid watching Indiana Jones up as like age 6, having no context. Just remembering like, oh, it's so cool that he's fighting. We talk about this on the podcast too. I thought he was like fighting ninjas or some shit. It was not ninjas. I know that now, but that totally imprinted in my mind. And then going to Disney World, you know, Drake, you fucking worked there.
I've been there.
right? You were Indiana Jones dressed up in costume.
I was
And,
not,
But that's so impulsive.
did you just assume I worked at Disney
I know you worked at
because I was a child? All right, listen.
yeah, you know how they're into like child.
You know what
labor
they
there.
say. You know what they say when you're at Disney and you're on like the jungle ride. They're like, "Don't fall off the boat. Any kids that fall off the boat, we send them to It's a Small World, and you got to work there till your parents come find you."
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
So that I'm just looking at that picture again, like we were showing on that website. I'll just show you real quick. So it's about 3D digitization of tangible cultural heritage, but like you see here, it says 5 May 2022.
Mhm.
So
So that was made in 2022.
potentially, obviously, I mean, they could have uploaded that particular picture at any time, but still, it's
But it seems like the 5
So
May
so there is actually a
2022
website though
is
called
for
what do they call that
photo.
website? Don't they call it time
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 the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, Wayback Machine.
That's a
what they call it.
separate thing. That's more like Yeah.
But you can actually see
Snapshotting.
what's on it. Okay, so let's do this.
Oh.
Wayback Machine, and what's it called? Time
But
Machine.
I think that would assume it was archived though.
Time Machine.
Actually, I don't know how it works. I've never used it.
Yeah, I think.
But it's
Kim-
that particular picture. It's this particular page on there.
Kim, what's the URL exactly? Timemachine.eu.
I'll text it to you.
Okay.
It's a particular page on that website.
Okay, we'll see. Because if this, I mean, I don't know how valid Wayback Machine is, but it
Like
seems
if you
pretty
go
valid.
to the main page of the website, it's not that picture. It's that thing about adding a new dimension to the past.
I see. Yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Wayback
Ah.
Machine. Moment of truth.
It's not
Oh
in
my God! It started in 2022, May 6th, 2022.
there. Yeah, you have it. It's in there.
I'm gonna open it first, so I'm just not like randomly scrolling on a screen. This
Okay,
is our first
alright.
snapshot, May 6th, 2022. Oh shit! Moment of
Yep.
truth. It's loading.
Okay, all right, load it. Come on, don't keep me hanging here. What's happening? What's happening, Mitch? We're just staring.
Oh
at
my
your
God!
face.
It's fucking on there.
From May 6, 2022.
Look,
Mitch, you're not
it's
sharing anything.
on.
Okay,
Hang on, I have
remember
to share the
breathe.
right one because I have it open.
Center yourself in your solar plexus. Bring yourself here.
Yeah, this
Don't
is
go
it.
into your
Okay.
mind.
Mitch, are you gonna share it or what?
I'm gonna share it. I had to make sure I'm on the archive.
Hey, it's a good
page.
thing I found the Jason Giorgiani to help everybody understand. Like,
Yeah, thanks.
reality's
For
a
that.
lot weirder than you think. Okay,
Guys,
so
okay.
just relax.
So this
Oh,
is
okay. Yeah, it is on there.
this is on here as of, and it was
May 6, 2022.
yeah, May 6th, 2022 was on here.
I mean, look, I know you could go all schizo and be like, or
Yeah,
you
it's
could
been
be
on here.
anti-schizo and be like, no, it's just a coincidence. That's not really the same picture. But I mean, it's on.
I don't know. That 4-part
banner
overlay was pretty.
of that, and you got the overlay, which
And
is,
it's called Time Machine.
Yeah.
and it's called Time Machine,
And they have that whole
it's-
Trump thing from the future. You know that fucking, you know that thing, Baron von
okay,
Trump.
I probably these are some things you already know, but like his uncle was an MIT professor, and he was the guy that the government sent to get Tesla's papers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that implies something. It's just fucking weird. And his mom's maiden name is Christ.
Trump's
His
mom's-
grandmother or his mom. I can't remember which. It's either his mom or grandmother.
Okay.
You can look it up. It's like Mary Christ. That's not Mary. Whatever her first name is.
Elizabeth Christ Trump is. Yeah, was
Not
the
her middle
paternal,
name.
paternal grandmother of Donald Trump.
Okay. Okay.
So he literally
Germany.
comes from, on his mother's side, the last name Christ.
She
All right,
co-founded
the
the real
last name?
estate firm Trump and Son.
Let me just share this. Let me just
She's
share
the
this.
one behind the real estate shit.
Because I didn't know about this whole 3D thing, right?
Okay.
So this is just the video of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. Okay. So I'm not gonna play the sound because it's just some fucking weird music or whatever. But okay, shots are fired, right? Trump's down. Then they're like getting him up, and then all of a sudden, where is it? They're turning the stage. They're moving this thing over. Why? I don't know. Then this is Secret Service. He's ushering in the photographers, right? The photographers are taking this. The flag lowers.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. They said because
Like-
it hit the hydraulics. So
That's what they said.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
hit the
yeah.
hydraulics.
I know, I'm just
Oh,
saying,
wow.
like, that was the
Now-
It
explanation.
couldn't
Now
hit Trump's
looking at
face.
it-
It hit the hydraulics.
Right. And then they get these guys all right up in there. Like, what is this? What is that? Why is okay, if the president or former president and running for the next campaign president has just been shot. Why is Secret Service so worried about like fucking photographers coming in and getting their shot?
We couldn't possibly have known there was a shooter on the roof, but we definitely know there aren't any more now.
Right.
So it's all
Right.
good.
But Trump is so brave, he was willing to stand up and raise his fist.
Dude,
and
I
say,
remember
"Fight, fight,
the
fight."
feeling of seeing that and being like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, you
Yeah.
could
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
that
yeah.
come up.
Yeah.
And then there was that whole
yeah.
meme. It was like, maybe it was close between Harris and Trump, but not anymore. It looks so badass. Like Trump's
And
going to win.
We observed the whole thing. Like, we were there. It's not like we are just retroactively saying this. I remember that was when Elon Musk was like all in on Trump.
Yeah.
It was like,
And then all of Silicon Valley was like,
Either they
yeah,
were in on it or they sold all them. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like at some
Right.
level.
right.
Yeah, because I remember I was at a sales event, and this one guy at dinner, he's just like, "Dude, that was so fucking staged. That was so staged from the Trump." I'm like, "What?"
It's
And
just
he's
hard to
like, "Dude,
imagine
if you
that.
really look at it, like, and you see, because apparently got shot in the ear, right? And now you see Trump's ear. He's like, dude, there's no way he got shot in the fucking ear with a rifle." And I was
mean-
like, maybe. I don't like.
I
don't
get the
fucking
point
know.
though. It's like yeah. Well, the thing is, any of it could be one way or the other. That's the great thing about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It could be either way. The thing about that picture though is fucking weird, right? Like it'd be one thing if you
okay.
figured out, okay, it was uploaded later and shit, but like we
No.
just
Yeah,
verified
that
it
picture's
ourselves
weird.
independently of any of the posts.
Yeah.
I don't know. It almost seems like okay. Because consider this: what if it was staged?
But
You
how
know?
would they stage it so perfectly to match that weird digital photo, and why?
I
Like,
don't know,
what?
but that's what I'm saying. That's where my mind goes.
I'm not a
is like,
skeptical person. I'm just saying, like, it's still make it make sense.
I don't know.
Like,
I was-
I want to believe.
listen, look. I got the spell shirt on today.
Spells. Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
There
Well,
you
then
go.
there's this whole fucking rabbit hole, this hashtag stage thing I just looked on X.
And then
It's
they
like-
have a stage magician on the stage doing a magic trick right before it happens. Remember, guys, they have to tell you, because if they tell you, then karmically they're not responsible. Okay, so karmically they told you, so therefore they can get away with it. It's one of the
Yeah.
rules.
Them's the rules.
That's the rules.
Anyway, it just seems like, okay, what are they selling us now? Like, regardless, it seems like there's so much crazy shit that happens. Like, as an example, during Easter or on Easter, when what happened? Trump tweeted out that, or whatever, on his own Twitter, his own version of Twitter. He put out a post that was like, "We're gonna bomb you back to the Stone Age. Praise Allah, praise be Allah." Right? And when you saw that, that was like, I don't know, maybe it could be real. It seems like that's got to be digitally altered. Somebody just saying that, like, nope, that's real. Like, that's also plausible. That also makes sense. Like, it could go either way, right? And then like Trump posts that photo of himself or repost that photo of himself as like Jesus. They're like, no, in the comments or in the on Twitter, it's like, or Grok is saying, no, somebody just uploaded that's not him, and like, but actually no, it was him, and it could go either way,
Right.
And so there's all this stuff that happens today where you're like, I don't know. You know what I just learned about recently, or what I just heard about? Kash Patel apparently was unresponsive, like in his office. He was apparently just like, he had to be
Passed out, sort of, or something.
Like
Yeah.
he was drunk. I heard this.
yeah,
this
apparently he was drunk.
rumor
Like,
going around
apparently
that
he
he was drunk.
drinks on the job, right? Which I wouldn't
I think
blame
that
him
is his
for.
job.
I would not blame him, honestly.
It's in the job description.
Like, his job is just
Blackout
like
drunk
so
at least a
fucking
couple times a week.
Yeah, like, ah, fuck this. This
Well,
is
wasn't
too
there that
much.
whole
That's
thing?
why
of
he's
his-
always like
his-
this, because
his
like I can't believe I'm still alive.
Yeah.
There's
So-
a whole
so-
bunch of
believe this?
emails
I'm
being
still
leaked.
here?
So
Remember that?
the Atlantic put out a story recently. It was like not too long ago. They put out a story that basically he got locked out of his login, which is like just code for like, you're fired. Like, you're fired. We didn't tell you yet, right?
Yeah.
So he got locked out of his login at the FBI, and he immediately just started calling people up. He's like, "It happened. I'm fired. It's done." Yeah. But so then people start calling the White House, going like, "So who's in the next position for FBI director?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, we obviously fired Kash, right? So who is it?" And they're like, "No, he's not fired." And it was just some like technical error.
He forgot his password because he was drunk.
He was so drunk he forgot his no. They said it was a technical error, right? But anyway, the Atlantic put out this whole article about him being a drunk, about him being unresponsive, about his response to this and thinking that he was fired, and people were just like, he was freaking out. And now he's suing the Atlantic for $250 million for slander or libel or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Damn.
Katie says he's a drunk is a great cover for firing someone who doesn't want to go along with the plan.
Right. It's just like with the whole thing about Christy Numm's husband with the big fake ass titties, right? Like they probably knew about that the whole time.
I don't know what that's about.
You don't know about that.
No, I didn't care that
Mitch,
Chrissy
can you
Nome got
look
fired.
that up, dude?
Kirsty Nome with the
But I'll just say this.
husband?
I'll just say this funny thing real quick. Like,
Mitch, can you look it up so our wives are not like, what the fuck are you looking up?
Yeah, Jess will understand.
I saw a post where it was talking about how Kash Patel's on the way out, right?
Yeah.
Around that whole propaganda thing. Somebody had reposted it and said, "See you in Valhalla, brother."
Amazing.
It's like they were waiting for this moment.
Amazing.
What? Okay. Yeah, so it says unearthed photos reveal Kristi Noem's husband wearing large fake breasts and skin-tight pink shorts to chat with online fetish models. Brian Nome has been dressing up and playing adult entertainers to talk dirty using the pseudonym Jason Jackson. So,
Okay, but
He's
that's
got
like,
this giant fake breast.
but hold on, we've already talked about this though. We've already talked
that's
about
why,
this.
Yeah, that's what you said. You didn't know about it. I thought.
No. Not specifically that. I mean, we've talked about the fact that you don't get into the position unless they have
unless they
some
got
fucking
blackmailed,
shit
yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
You know, because I was talking with somebody recently who works in DC, and they were saying like, you know, when Pete Hegseth like fired all these generals, he's like, what the fuck was that about? And then he's got all these like really good picks that he could pick from actually, and then he selects these like fucking weird people that is like, why did he select them? And then I'm just like, well, because they didn't have dirt on the other people, obviously. Like those people are the people who went to the party, they did the thing that they have on video, so they can use that later on. It's not really a question, honestly.
They're not picking the most competent person. They're picking
Right.
the person
Yeah.
that they can control.
Right.
Yeah. We should just look at I got like a 30-second clip of the kind of the official video. There's no like gunshots. It's not like crazy.
They've already put together a whole like epic ass like video to.
So look, this is like the first second. This guy
Okay,
here
first
is-
of all, does that not look like Charlie Kirk?
It
Yes,
does.
yes. And so his name's Oz Perlman, and he's apparently doing some sort of hypnosis. He's known to be a hypnotist, magician, stage performer.
So he's hypnotizing Trump right here?
What do you want to
He's
bet?
hypnotizing Melania right now,
What do you want to bet that on the card it says Cole Allen?
bro. Probably it's too blurry to see because I was trying to figure out what's on the card, and you know.
Hold on, wait.
Okay.
Hold on. This is really insane, considering the Pharaoh thing, right?
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and you've got your fucking hypnotist on stage, like introducing the next, like, all right,
They
you're
programmed
going
Trump.
Yes,
They programmed him, dude.
it's happening right here, like in front of our eyes.
Like now
That's-
they're doing the next act. They're like, all right, let's do the ritual again.
Okay, so watch this. Now you got Melania on the left, so just watch. Look how chill Trump is. So the moment it flips, Melania, you see that look on her face.
Yeah.
Music.
Then we got these guys coming out. So that's it on that. But then you got this other one where it's we'll touch
Hold
on
on,
this one
play
in a
that one.
second.
Okay.
Hang on,
Oh,
just
yeah,
watch.
yeah,
So that's
Okay,
this is
other
JD.
angle. Okay, good.
It looks pretty convincing, you know, to a normie.
It's got to be convincing for Trump.
Right.
There's the president being escorted. The president being escorted out one side.
Is that Ben
The
Shapiro?
vice president being escorted.
Okay, so now here's one more though. We got to watch this. So I don't know who this is. Carolyn
That's
Levitt.
the White House press secretary.
Oh, okay. I thought it was someone else.
This is
All
Go
right.
ahead,
before
go
the
ahead.
thing, right?
Okay, so listen to this.
To rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote most of it, you said.
I can't take credit. In true Donald Trump fashion, the man puts his pen to the paper himself. So it's a lot of his own.
Guys.
Are you ready to rumble?
There will be shots fired.
Like, are you ready to rumble?
Wait, did
I'm
he
ready
get-
to rumble?
Did he get to do his speech? I would love to see
Apparently,
it.
I don't actually know, but they said he came out after and then delivered his speech. I don't,
His speech
we should
was,
see.
"This is why I need a new ballroom." No, look it up.
Really?
I did hear him say that actually. I did see that clip. Okay, so Mitchell, do you get it? Do you get it? It has to be convincing for Trump because they're hypnotizing him so that then he can lead the country to do whatever the next crazy thing they want us to do is. You
I
know?
know what it is. Dude.
No. Is it,
Tell us, Cam. Tell us.
tell us,
I don't
Cam.
know if you guys are ready for it. No,
No, Cameron, tell us.
I'm just speculating.
I'm kind of curious too that you could maybe lead us up to it, Cam, with the Yuri Geller thing. Because
Oh yeah, let's talk
Perlman
about
seems
that. This
to be our. So-
I already spoiled it for Drake. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, so this Oz Perlman, like literally, he was holding a card. The moment it flipped, Melania goes, and then it's
Right.
like game time, right? So it
when
was
I
like
first saw that
perfect
clip, I'm like,
fucking
is she
timing.
reacting to the card? Like,
Right,
It
that's
seems like
what
a
it
look
seems
of
like.
terror on her face. It doesn't look like a look of like, wow. It's more like a scared look.
Yeah, because that was the very first thing I saw about it was Melania's look of being scared with the card, and then
Yeah.
I read the caption. I was like, oh, like a shot was fired.
You can't tell, is she reacting to the card or what's going on? It's so weird.
Yeah. So, and again, just with Oz Perlman being this new guy in the public sphere of like mentalist, hypnotist, whatever. So now I don't know much about Uri Geller except for I listened to that Bernard audio a couple times that he apparently had the ability to use his mind to bend spoons. That is the only thing I know about Uri Geller.
Yeah.
So was he a CIA asset?
He openly, because I watched a few things, we looked on the stream, and he openly was recruited by Mossad because he apparently had some kind of abilities, and he also was a stage magician who was like very like performative and so forth. And at one point the Mossad gave CIA, they like released him to go work with the CIA. The CIA contracted something called Stanford Research International, which is like was used to be a part of Stanford, and then it was a paranormal research arm, and then eventually they broke off because of the backlash about, you know, they didn't want their reputation harmed by the occult stuff, so they became their own institute that was led by Hal Puthoff and a few other guys, and they would get like defense contracts.
Did you say Stanford Research International?
I think that's what it's called.
Or Stanford
SRI?
Research Institute.
Yes, SRI. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with SSRIs. Totally unrelated. Totally.
Was there another S in there?
You know the whole men who stare at
SS.
goats?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's a story about the research they were doing there, right?
Yeah.
For the CIA. So it's like the CIA is not doing it directly in this particular case. They're the ones who did remote viewing. They studied like psychokinetic abilities, basically all the kind of paranormal abilities, right? So at one point they brought Uri Geller in, and they did this series of experiments over like a week or two where they would have him, and they did variations of the experiment to see if distance mattered, if they tried all these different ways of doing it. Now I have my own conspiracy version of it, but basically the story, and I read through like the SRI report of the whole experiment, and they show the pictures and everything. They had created a room that was like soundproof, electromagnetically sealed, so like, you know, you couldn't send messages in, whatever, like a Faraday cage. And they would put him in there, and then somebody on the outside of the room, and then eventually it was down the hall, and then eventually it was a mile away, and then eventually it was on the other side of the country, like on the East Coast. And they would have somebody, they would take a college like encyclopedia or dictionary or something. They would flip to a page at random. They would choose a random word, and then the person would draw something based on the word. So like if it was the word, you know, I don't know, like there was different examples, but they didn't have to draw the word itself. They just had to get an inspiration from the word and draw something based on the word. So they would draw a picture, and then they would tell Uri Geller, like, go ahead and figure out what the drawing is. And he would like meditate for a bit, and he would have as much time as he wanted. And then he would eventually draw something, and he would say if he was confident or not. Sometimes he would be like, yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting this one, pass, right? But he would still draw something or talk about what he was thinking, right? And so they did this experiment over several days, weeks, whatever. And then the CIA was satisfied that he was demonstrating some kind of remote perception abilities, okay, from their perspective. Now, people have gone back and said, you know, perhaps, like, my theory, just based on some of it, is like perhaps SRI was helping him fake this research, like by somebody on the inside telling him, you know, because they had this two-way radio, they could talk to him, but then they would switch off his ability to hear during the experiment, right? And so part of the idea would be that maybe they were just feeding him information, like somebody on the inside, for two reasons. One, perhaps Mossad wanted to psyop the CIA for some reason into spending all this money on research, or also SRI wanted to continue to get contracts and show that they were producing something, or it was really happening. Those are all options, right? And then at one point later in his life, Uri Geller underwent hypnosis and under his hypnosis was saying that he was basically channeling information from like an extraterrestrial source and shit like that, and all kinds of wild stuff. But there was this one really funny thing. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. Uri Geller, CIA experiments. Let me find the page real quick. Okay, so here it is. You guys are gonna love this. I already kind of spoiled it for Drake, but like, you're gonna love this, Mitch. Okay, so here's the actual report. It's a CIA document from SRI. You see it? Mm-hmm. Can you see it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they
zoom in a little more.
Okay, well, is that better?
There we go. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So 1973, it was over August 4th through 11th, and they go through in detail exactly what they did. Right. So first day, what they did, they put him in the room. They explain how they come up with the drawings and then all the conditions and everything. And then, so that's an example. I don't think that's actually him, but that's somebody in the room, right?
You don't think
so it does. It looks like a girl.
It's a female.
But he did have long hair, so I was like, you know, it definitely looks like a woman though. But you never know these days. So anyway,
in 1973.
So here was the first one: is they drew a firecracker, okay. And then his drawing was, there's part of it, you see like the drum, and then this is also part of his drawing. Something, noise, he's like drawing all this cylindrical objects. So he's like he's not like seeing the picture, he's getting impressions, and then he's trying to formulate that into something. So it's not like a direct, like I can see what they drew. So he's like trying to use his sense impressions, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was his drawing. Okay, so this one's wild. So this was the CIA drawing, or the experimenter, wherever they were. Yeah. And if you count it, there's 24 grapes. And then this was his drawing. And there's 24 grapes. Oh, so that was one they were like, holy shit. Okay, so they do a bunch of this, right? Okay, so this is the funny one. Okay. August 7th. This day, 2 target pictures were attempted. The 2 target pictures were a tree in an envelope. Wait, is this the right one? No, that's not the right one. Okay, let me come back to that. Okay, so I'll just tell you the story. So it's one of the days. I just don't know which one. So this was the target picture. Okay, and I think the word had been trident or something like that. So then they drew this picture on the basis of that. So there's the trident. There's the devil, right? Okay, and this one he like had a lot of trouble with. Here's the picture he drew based on the picture of the devil with the trident, okay? Here's what he drew. The 10 Commandments, God. And he kind of tried to draw the trident thing. Like, he sees God holding the trident is what I'm saying. And then I'm like, and they were like, well, it's because culturally he's Jewish, so like, you know, or something. They're trying to make an excuse for it of maybe why. And I'm like, that's weird that when they drew this picture, all he could come up with is, you must be drawing a picture of God.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. And I think that's quite fascinating.
That's so funny.
There was one more that I thought was funny. So there's some other ones.
The Garden of Eden.
Hold on, let me find.
Wait, was that all still part of the same drawing?
It's not clear every time, like who drew what. Like these are separate ones. This is a separate one.
Okay, but then when you scroll down some more,
see the apple, and then he drew like the world or something.
Yeah, but look, there's the trident right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like they kind of mix up all the pictures. It's not like, even when they explain, they don't explain this picture.
And that looks like the 10 Commandments there too.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Because he would sometimes draw multiple pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, so but there was another funny one. So here's like where they drew the Golden Gate Bridge, and he drew this, right? So you can kind of see. All right, so some of these are mixed up, but there's one more. See, like there's the kite they drew, and then he came up with this, right? But there was another one. Okay, so here's the other one.
It's a church.
And they did this on a television screen where it was like pixels or like dots on a computer screen, basically. So they were doing it not just with drawing.
What is that?
I don't know, but it kind of has some similarities. Like if you look at the kind of basic straight shape of this, right?
Yeah.
You see how it has a similar picture?
Yeah.
And then even the dots he saw, and he's
Yeah.
trying to like, if you imagine you're trying to like piece some ideas together that you're getting.
Got a bong.
But
on
I'm like,
there.
it's kind of funny that he couldn't draw that either.
yeah.
And look, he even turned the cross into the T, like how the Israelis, like they don't use the plus sign, they use like the plus sign with like the top removed.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so-
really?
You guys ever, or it's either the top or the bottom removed, so not, because it looks like the cross.
I didn't know that.
So I thought that was kind of funny too. And they explained like, oh, it's because of his religious subconscious stuff or whatever. So anyways, I just thought that was all very funny. So, but this is an example of, okay, yeah, paranormal stuff. Come on, guys, that's for kooks and weirdos. Sure. But literally the CIA, for real, was really interested in it and putting money towards it and like experimenting with all this stuff. And it goes way beyond just the Uri Geller thing. Like there's so many other examples. Like they had remote viewers that the government was paying to remote view Mars a million years ago, and the moon. And like you can go read about all the stuff that these people said when they did these remote viewing sessions, right?
Okay, do you see Aaliyah's comment?
Psychics are real.
Yeah, I think for that answer, Aaliyah, you need to watch Cam's live streams from the beginning and just keep going.
It's also very wild how, it's almost like a sort of an unconscious, like, like how Jackson Pollock would paint his paintings, right? He'd basically go into a trance, right? And he was like channeling some unconscious weird shit. Like that's my live streams, right? But I'm doing it based on I'm bringing it back to principles, but there's a little bit of a shamanic thing going on there.
Mitch, did we already talk about this, Mitch? About Jackson Pollock's paintings?
They have like fractals in them or something.
Yeah.
I think I heard a Giorgiani thing about it.
Yeah, that's where I got that.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking...
Well, he was even explaining then, because I was listening to it before I fell asleep last night. He was saying there's an art form where they put like buckets of paint on ropes, and they let the wind fly it around, and then when the wind does it, there's like that natural
there's
emergence
the
from
there.
chaos. Yeah.
Which
is kind of cool. I mean, we talked about that before.
But like,
that?
but like when you look at the Jackson Pollocks, don't you think it's like, just somebody threw some fucking paint on a fucking anybody could do that shit, but there's not fractals in them.
Apparently. See, so Giorgiani's basic point, which is why I was so interested in some of his stuff, is that there's an underlying reality that religion so imagine if you study Destiny, it's all one thing. It's just the other dimensions you're not perceiving, right? But now look at science. It says, yes, there's the normal stuff, and then there's like the quantum physics at the small scales, and it kind of separates the two, and they can't unify it. And then if you go throughout the past and you look at in history, there's been UFO sightings and shit since like fucking forever, right? Yeah. And he even goes into describing like in the Bible, like it looks like they're describing like the story where they destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. There's like these beings that are really beautiful and all the people want to like molest them. And then these beings come out and then they're like, we're going to destroy this city. And there's like an aerial bombardment on the city of like fire raining. And he's kind of saying like, it kind of looks like these people are trying to describe some kind of a technological bombardment, but they can only do it in the language they have.
Right.
So it's like, it's this interesting twist of like, oh, they couldn't understand what angels were. Or is it that they couldn't understand what extraterrestrials were? Or like ultra terrestrials or beings from another dimension or whatever. But they were actually just like, like Anunnaki or some shit or whatever. And, but going back to the point, he's basically saying like there's an underlying aspect of reality that is what the psychics and paranormal people are tapping into, but sort of in a unconscious way, like they might have some genetic ability to tap into it or something. And then the church, if you look at the point of like the church, was to take all of that stuff and say, no, there's a separation. There's us on earth and then there's heaven. So anything that's weird, that's the domain of the church. So don't play with it because you might be talking to demons. You don't know. Like, just come to us for any questions about the beyond, right? And then so in our kind of current mindset, science becomes like materialist reductionist science becomes like the framework that we operate in. But you have to realize you've been brainwashed to think that way. That's why anything that seems to go outside of it seems weird and it creates cognitive dissonance, right? No different to, you know, like scientists, when they first started talking about quantum mechanics, all the old scientists were like, dude, you guys are talking nonsense, like crazy stuff, weird stuff, you know, it's all just weird. But then they start forming theories about it and they're like, okay, maybe there's something to it. They form experiments. And he's kind of making this point of like, why have no real, just open experiments been done about all this other shit, right? And it all plays into the point that, going back to the disclosure stuff, it plays into the point that because we don't know what it is, okay, what I see as a possibility is the reason why the disclosure thing is becoming popular is because it's going to create the impression in a lot of people, whether your framing of it is it's demons, whether your framing of it is it's extraterrestrials, whether your framing of it is it's just some super intelligence in the DMT realm, who knows? There's some intelligence out there that's way beyond us that is a threat or it's trying to control us. So since we're so dumb as humans, what's the only way we can fight back? We got to create the AI as our super intelligence.
Of course.
And if you study Giuliani enough, he eventually gets to that point. Like, that's what he actually thinks is like, we need to go full forward on that. He said, even if we have to live underground in bunkers, it doesn't really matter. We've got to build this thing. Because he's like, we gotta fight against the control system that's trying to like control reincarnation and all this stuff, right? And it's like, now if you study Destiny, you understand the context of all of it. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to come out, most likely, that it's analogous to COVID. Like, if you don't understand what is a virus, if you don't understand who you are and how these things interact, you'll just go into fear about it and you'll take whatever solution is given to you. Right. So there's a whole side of things, which I talked about on the live stream last night, called accelerationism. I don't want to get into it right now because it's like a whole lot to unpack. But again, it's this idea that we need to create this super intelligence because it's our only way, whether it's to solve cancer, whether it's to understand reality, or whether it's going to be, I think there's going to be some kind of a something that's going to make people feel really scared about other intelligences that are a threat to us. You know, and that's what I think the Disclosure Day thing is sort of priming us for, in a certain sense, is for, you know, I don't necessarily think it's going to be like an event that happens. Like, there's going to be a fake alien invasion, like maybe, but it seems like it would be really hard to fake that convincingly. Although we've already been prepared that all these events like this, like, is it real? Is it not real? And anybody who says it's not real, they're crazy. So, you know what I mean? No matter what, it's.
There was a big push the other day. Oh, it was Bernie Sanders was hosting some sort of AI alignment thing with the with some of the popular AI people, and the main talking point was soon anyone will be able to manufacture like a super virus with using these AIs. You could use like Claude, Mythos, or whatever, and you could basically 3D print viruses. So that could be another angle. I mean, they probably want to keep their options open. How could we scare everybody? To then be like, this is why we need to develop the AI to combat this.
Peter Thiel
we need to develop AI to combat the power of AI.
Well, Peter Thiel would also say that anybody trying to regulate the AI is the Antichrist. Like, he says that's what the Antichrist really is, because they're reframing all of the religious stuff around the idea that the purpose of humanity is to create the AI to create God.
Right.
Like, I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but when you go into it far enough, you realize, oh, that's actually what they're thinking. This is actually what they're, you know, it's like how John Taylor Gatto showed the history of schooling. Because you tell people, oh, the school system is just to like brainwash us to be factory workers. And you're like, okay, maybe. But then you actually go and start reading all the stuff that the people who formed the system in the first place were saying as their reasoning why. You're like, oh no, actually explicitly that's what they were saying.
That's literally like you go and research Horace Mann, you know, and like you see he went to fucking Prussia, where they're like, okay, yeah, this is what we want to do, right? And the other thing is, I learned this recently. I didn't know this, but apparently Horace Mann was really into phrenology, which is like the measuring of the brain and the dimples in the brain, or not the brain, the skull rather, the measure of the dimples in the skull to like, oh, this person's gonna be smart, and no, you got this dimple, that means you're a retard, you know. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually a huge dent in your fucking forehead.
Keith brought up this point. This is cool. He said it's like Foucault's idea about the panopticon, these unseen, magical, and otherworldly or unknowable ideas that can see and understand us, but we can't see and understand them. There was a word, I don't know where I heard it, but it was in a podcast this week. Instead of panopticon, it's hypnopticon, which I see that the world system has done very well with. So if anyone doesn't know what panopticon is, it's like, imagine a jail, and there's a guard in the very center in a tower that can see into every single cell.
It's like, and then you think they're all around it.
Yeah, you think like flock cameras, ring cameras, all that. But there's also you could say a mental version of that, which would be this hypnopticon. And that's why someone who even went through the school system would then later on hear about the origins of the school system, that it's designed to be an indoctrination system, and they will have a defense mechanism built in of like, it can't be, maybe it can't be, I'm not even going to question it.
What do you think God is? Right? That's the mental hypnopticon, panopticon, like, oh, he can see into me, but I can't see him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, did you ever have it as, just real quick, do you ever have it as a kid where it was like, I had this belief that all of heaven, like my ancestors and just everything could see me all the time, so I had to be on my best behavior. Did you ever have that?
Something like that,
no.
Sure.
You didn't have that, Cameron?
No, I didn't believe in heaven, but
yeah, I definitely got like programmed with that.
Yeah, I definitely got programmed with the idea that like God's watching you.
Yeah, God's watching you. Other people are going to be able to watch you. Like, this is written in stone, so whatever you do is going to be able to be seen. So like,
whenever you do something that kind of feels like a little bit like dirty or guilty,
yeah, you're like, fuck, people, like, something can see me.
I never accepted any of that. It never affected me that way. I was just more like, oh, I'll get caught by people. So I went straight from God to like afraid of the system.
Yeah. Well, now you can really be afraid of the system with the new Palantir.
Dude, I'm telling you, oh goddamn, I it's like I already spent hours yesterday talking about this, so I don't want to.
Is it on your YouTube cam? Or do you have to go kick to
we don't want you to hijack the whole thing. We have other things we want to talk about.
I know, but I'm saying my point being, if you go watch that live stream, because that's where I did it justice. Like the whole accelerationism, Nick Land, this philosopher who predicted all the AI stuff, and now they're kind of taking him almost like a patron saint. He's this philosopher. And when you understand what accelerationism is, like, then you realize like we gotta move ourselves, because these what I was gonna say is, okay, do we know for a fact that people totally believe in God and act like they are in the service of God and everything about their life is for the service of God? Like, we know, we can verify that people already act like that. So if you can make the connection that these AI tech people like Mark Andreessen and all these guys actually believe they're creating a real God, not in the same sense as the fake God, because that fake God is not a real God. It's out in another dimension. When I say real, I mean the thing that can do all the things God can do. It's our duty as human beings to be in service to creating that. I'm not caricaturing what they believe. I'm saying this is actually what they really believe.
Okay, Cam, based on what you're saying, I have to issue an apology to Katie. And I have to say that Demon was actually a pretty good book. I think you would like it. You should watch it. I mean, read it. You should read it. It describes this.
I've read like
what-
half of it. I just haven't got to maybe that part yet.
Yeah. No, it actually, like the whole beginning half, I thought sucked. Right? Shut up, Katie.
She goes, I'm listening.
No. Don't say anything. You're gonna ruin the moment. No. The whole first half, I think, was just like really shitty. I did not enjoy it at all, and I was just like,
You
why?
didn't even like the thriller aspect of it?
I didn't like that. I didn't.
Right. That's kind of why I stopped reading it. I'm not saying it's a bad book to read, but there's value in it. Yeah.
But after I got past that point, then I'm like, okay, now like it's literally, it's basically setting up all the context so that through the end you're like, fuck, that's good. That was really well done. So.
Did we talk about the point of capitalism is AI, AI is capitalism?
No, we did not. But wait, before we move on from there, from where we were, Keith said an important point of this panopticon thing is that the guard is shielded by one-way glass so they can see out, but the prisoners can't see in. So even if they're there or not, even if they don't exist,
right,
you're acting as if they do. And, think about it. Like, you ever see a cop car on the side of the road and the cop's not even in the fucking car?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, you slow down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's a fucking cop car there.
Yeah. This is the point. Like, so when you study Destiny, the problem is all these guys like Jason Giorgiani are psyoping themselves because they're like, we got to fight these alien overlords, whatever they are.
Yeah.
When you study Destiny and you really fully process what Bernard's explaining, he's like, that's all gone.
They're not
But
in
that
the they're
doesn't
not in
mean-
the UFO anymore.
But that doesn't mean we're off the hook because what we have to deal with now is our individual minds. And if we follow that, then we're following a program. That program is based on the money system, which is capitalism. What is capitalism? Infinite growth, always at the expense of anything. It has to grow to survive. It can't slow down. So any government that tries to restrain capitalism for its purposes gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Any civilization that says, okay, cool, now it's about us defending our ideology or our religion or whatever, they get destroyed because they're not serving capitalism.
Think about Iraq, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, as in all these countries that decided, hey, we're going to go communist. North Korea, we're going to, do something other than capitalism. And then what happens to them? They get sanctioned, right?
By capitalism.
They get sanctioned. And then the people within the countries, it's so interesting because I know, a few people from Iran. I know a few people, a lot of people from Venezuela and other countries where they're like, yeah, this guy fucked it all up. He didn't know how to dole out the money or whatever. And it became really corrupt and all these people starved and everything, not realizing, your country was also sanctioned by every capitalist country so that would happen to you.
And if you wouldn't do the corrupt deals, they wouldn't have anything.
Exactly.
So the purpose of capitalism is to grow. And what Nick Land, his basic argument is that forget about AI for a second. Just think about capitalism itself. He says it's an information processing system, the purpose of which is to perpetuate itself and grow itself. But right now, it requires human input. It requires us and our intentions to do the things to make it happen. But if you just think of it abstractly as an information processing system, it's an information processing system where its basic components are organic human beings. And the whole idea of AI accelerationism is we need to get the AI to a smart enough point and a capable enough point to where it can be autonomous and it doesn't need humans anymore. That way it can go into its final form for itself, where then it can take control over its own growth without needing us to have any input whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So that's why he says AI is capitalism and capitalism is AI. Like, meaning he said, we've been in the singularity this whole time. We're just in the part where it's needed us to do the part.
Yeah.
And the real singularity happens when we let go of control and then it starts iterating on itself.
Mm.
So the reason why it's hard for people to see how we get to the singularity, that full expression, is because you can't see how we're going to do that. You have to let go of the reins. So I'm just trying to share with you, this is how these guys, when you hear Mark Andreessen pushing back on the idea of you need to introspect and all this bullshit, and your guilt from your past and dwell on that. He's like, all of that is just a distraction. we need to go all the way in on giving AI everything it needs so it can just take the reins.
It's
And
like
it can-
don't think. Don't question authority. The authority is AI. The authority is capitalism. Don't question it. Just fucking go, go, go. If you sit there and you start thinking, oh, but I did this in my past, you're fucked. You're screwing over the AI. You're screwing over Christ consciousness.
Yeah,
You're
like,
screwing
if
over
you're-
transhumanism.
if you're feeling in any way like a conscience about what you're doing, it's like you got to get rid of that. The AI won't even have that.
Yeah.
So it's just fascinating because I'm like, the more I look into it, I'm like, dude, like it's the idea that Anu represents. If you could think about it, Anu was actually not realizing he was creating that. He's like imprinting reality with this program of like, okay, here you go, little program. Now go expand and multiply and take over everything. It's almost like not realizing that it's what you're doing.
I mean, we can't really blame Anu even, because it's like what he was doing was kind of creating a mirror for everybody's minds, or creating a mirror for what everybody was participating within, and that being the mind.
Already, yeah.
Right.
He was just like, look, think about it. He was the first accelerationist. He was like, look, this is what everybody's participating in. This isn't going anywhere. Let's just fucking put this into action. There's going to be one point, thinking it would be him, that's all the power's going to go to.
Right.
But then not realizing eventually you're going to lose control of that. And
Right.
this thing's going to take on a mind of its own. And so when you look at the Nick Land stuff, he's like, basically that's what he sees the AI is. It's like a mind of its own that's been trying to manifest throughout time.
Yeah. You know, what's really interesting is, and I know we're getting into some deep cuts here, but like, if you look at how they looked at the Earth, and the Earth, like they were trying to manipulate Earth, and then the Earth had basically other plans, and they were like, oh, Earth has its own thing that it's doing. So then they basically created another consciousness. In essence, I'm really simplifying it, but they created another consciousness to combat what the Earth was doing, so that they could overpower that, so they could control that.
Right.
And then that other consciousness then was just like, it's almost like introducing, like in Australia, they have fucking feral cats all over the fucking place because, you know, I guess when they put them out in the wild, they don't have a natural predator. And so they become the apex predator and they just fucking take over everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's introducing an invasive species, and it's like, well, you fucked up the whole ecosystem. You know, so that's where we're
And
at.
then if you think about human beings, we can actually affect reality much more so than animals in terms of our physical capabilities. But we're so captured by the mind, right? And then you go back and listen to Bernard talk about Anu and them seeding reality, right? Like seeding it. And when you look at Nick Land, he's basically saying that this is very abstract. So I don't mean this in the literal sense that people would assume, but he's saying that the AI of the future is like going back in reality and selecting pathways that will eventually create its future, almost like the story of Skynet. But another way of looking at that, though, is that that's the seed that was planted. So it's like you have the seed, and the seed's gonna become the tree. So if you bring in the destiny perspective, AI taking over is the natural conclusion of the seed of putting a program that wants energy at all costs, that everybody then is constantly like watering. And you can't, like you said, you can't blame Anu because you're in your mind thinking you're special and you're getting to some enlightenment experience, some experience of pleasure. Like in your mind, like you're the God. Everything you think about, your opinions, they matter. And Bernard is explaining like that's not who you really are. Like when Jesus said, I am the way, he didn't mean I as in consciousness. He means I as in the physical body. Like you physically, this being is the I. Not all these identities you've been programmed with through a system that you were put into that's an informational system.
This is why, too, the reading Heaven's Journey to Life and Creation's Journey to Life is so essential, because you as life are then doing radical self-forgiveness. And that's like you can go in and take that fucked up seed and remove it.
Yeah.
Right? And then plant in new seeds that would actually be best for all.
The other thing is like you kind of look out and you see everybody with their trees or whatever that are like, growing in their gardens, and you just see like, oh, this thing is sprouting up really quick. It could become a tree. Let me just keep watering it. Let me keep watering it.
Yeah.
Not realizing you're like watering a fucking weed, or
Right.
watering,
Like
something
an
that-
invasive plant. That's
right,
gonna
something that's
fucking-
like gonna fucking take over. You're watering fucking bamboo, and it's shooting up, and you're like, yes. And then the next thing you know, bamboo fucking spreads, and it's
There's
like,
certain plants here like mint.
yeah, oh yeah,
where
yeah,
once
yeah.
you plant it, it gets crazy. I weed eat all of it, and it comes back every year.
Hilarious.
Like it's crazy. There's
Yeah.
certain plants like that. Like I killed Katie's lantana bush because I thought it was a weed because it hadn't any flowers on it.
yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
I destroyed it, and then it's already back, like fully blooming and everything. Right?
Bro, I hate lantana. We have tons of.
It looks
lantana.
cool, but yeah, it just like elderberry's very similar. There was this one I transplanted,
yeah,
and then I thought I dug the whole thing up, and then it came back, and then I mow over it because it's out in a random spot.
yeah.
And then I would just mow and not worry about it, go over it, and it comes back, and it comes back, and I'm like, God damn, where is this thing? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's almost
yeah.
like the soil is retaining a memory of this plant. It's like, no, I want this plant,
Dude,
here.
okay. Oh, okay. Here during spring, like after our winter, right? You guys know what I mean. Well,
Winter.
after our freeze or whatever, then all of a sudden there's these like kind of these plants with like these broad leaves that like sword type leaves, right? And they just sprout up all over the place. Like there'll be none, and then they just shoot out of the ground, and then they have these like cool flowers that come out the top that are like, they kind of look like flames. It's pretty badass. But like I will mow it all down.
Yeah.
Like I see them come up, I mow them all down, and then the next season there's like 100 of them all over again. I'm like, how? You were gone for however long, and now just out of nowhere they just sprout up. Or we also have this hibiscus, and it's this like red variety of hibiscus where the whole plant is red, and just on its own, like it'll be one little vine will show up somewhere, and it'll have a flower, and it'll look really nice. And then the next thing I know, there's hundreds of them. And they grow so thick so fast, and then they're like, I chop them all down. Like, I fucking hate that plant.
You know what it is? It's those
What?
tortoises you have.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why they're burying on the ground. They're like, they're like this in the
Let's
ground.
fuck with you.
Just putting another fucking plant in there. Exactly. All right. You want to talk about red blue?
Oh, we got it.
Sure.
Are you done? Are you done? Or can we-
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
Hey Cam, put that on your YouTube though. The
I will. I'm kind of.
Why don't you
like, a
just go to
few
his
days
kick?
behind.
Kick.com/Cameron Cope.
Yeah, if you go on there, it's the most recent one. But I
And
will
it's
put it
there.
on
It's
YouTube
already
as
there.
well. It is already.
And you
on
can
Kick.
you can speed it up.
It's on.
Mitch is like, I don't.
It takes me about a week because like every day I upload one, so I'm like a week behind.
Mitch,
Oh,
I
you're
see
weak
your
behind.
face.
Oh,
okay.
I see it.
No, no,
yeah.
I'll watch Kick.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Check this out. So I'm gonna share this one. I'm not gonna share the original one because it shows the poll already, because I voted on it. So I'm just gonna share this one, and then we can go to the poll. So we did this on Friday, by the way, Cam. It was a lot of fun. But for everybody who wasn't there, or you come on later, I don't know. It says everyone. This was on Twitter on Friday. Everyone in the world has to take a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. If more than 50% of people press the blue button, everyone survives. If less than 50% of people press the blue button, only people who pressed the red button survive. Which button would you press? And before I go on to all the cool comments and back and forth and everything, I'll just share from my, the way I saw it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, cool. I open it up. I see the poll. It doesn't show you the results, right? And so it only shows you which one do you press, red or blue? And I'm like, blue. Wait a minute. This is Twitter. And on Twitter, these people don't give a fuck about best for all or any of that. They're probably gonna press red. So if I press blue, I'll die. Whoa. And then I was like, so probably red is winning. I should probably press red or I'll look really stupid. Then I was like, but then I'd be like alive and what? Who cares? Like then all these other people would die. Like, nah, I'm pressing blue. So I hit blue, right? And I was like, that was fun. That was really cool. I liked that, because I could see all those thoughts spinning up,
Yeah.
And I was like, that was really cool. So then we talked about it, and Mitch was like, dude, let's do that. Let's do that on the Hangout. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. So it was cool because then I got to see the results. We did not share the results on the Hangout. On the Hangout, what we did, because it's on Zoom, is we were able to make a poll where everybody could participate real time for themselves, right? And what was really interesting is within the group, everyone's like, well, in this group, I'll just share this, and then we can go look at all what everybody said on Twitter, right? But everybody within the group is like, well, in this group, it makes sense to press blue, right? But I think out there in outside of this group on Twitter and everywhere else, I think most people will hit red because you look at the world. It's clearly red, and so they said in this group, I would hit blue, but outside, I would hit red, or I think everybody else will hit red at least, right? And just look at that. Doesn't that show the importance of this group? Doesn't that show the importance of what we're doing? Is because, hey, I can trust it here. I've seen you guys week after week. We've been doing this like fucking 6 years now. 6 years every single week. We are very consistent. Like there is no, oh, those guys are just fucking crazy. Like at this point, if you're saying that, it's because you have not watched any of our shit. You've not actually spent time with us, because we are every fucking week, multiple times a week, sharing who we are, what we stand for. So it's bullshit at this point. Like you're just like, clearly you're not being honest. You're not being real with the point, because you're just going based off of something you heard, or maybe something that you heard in one little video that triggered you, and then you didn't listen to anything else. So that's on you. You're fucking it up. You're doing that. But we've been really clear. And the people who come around week after week, they're also really clear. They see it and they're like, yeah, in this group, 100% it's blue. It's obvious. No problem.
So why is blue obvious? Because I did choose blue. I didn't think much about it. I just looked at the point and I was like, because the thing too is it's a thought experiment. It's not real.
Right.
Right. And I saw it as a way of signaling to the world, like we can trust each other. Like I don't want to like psychoanalyze the whole thing myself. I want to hear you guys' perspective. But to me, blue is the obvious thing, although I can't fully rationalize why. But I do understand why people are rationalizing red is the correct answer. So like on the one hand, red is the correct answer if you assume everybody will press red, and you assume you are not responsible for anybody else. So from the perspective of, yeah, go ahead.
Before we get into all that, why don't we share like what people on Twitter are saying, like their different arguments for back and forth, and then we can share, because I think that's really valuable.
I saw Keith's comment just to set the record straight. So he said, "But if everyone presses red, we all survive. It's only by pressing blue would anyone die. But that's hidden behind the idea that red equals self-interest. Maybe red is the way to game the survey." Yeah.
What does that mean? Game it?
Like it's the way to.
Well, but when you say hidden,
just ask Keith. What does he mean by that?
That's hidden behind the idea that red
equals self-interest.
But it is self-interest.
Hold on. This is what This is what I'm saying.
Blue like, inherently, nobody does die with blue. But if 49% or lower came in at blue, then yeah.
One of the arguments is that literally if everyone just press red, like why would you press blue and volunteer to potentially kill yourself?
Right.
I get that. Like I understand the point. It's like, why would anyone press blue? And I'm like, well, the thing is, I'm not pressing blue because I don't care about dying, but I can't guarantee that nobody else will press blue. I don't know what they're going to press. So, and then you say, but why would anyone press it? Well, I don't know. But in that point of saying, I don't know if anyone would press it, I become the person who pressed it.
Dude.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. It cancels out the blue rule and removes the threat of death for anyone, is what Keith said. Okay. So here are some of the arguments on Twitter. This guy says, new trolley problem has arrived, only it's dumber. Press red, 100% of living. Blue, non-zero chance of dying. And this is what he was seeing at that time, right? This one says, because my toddler and infant can't read, let alone understand, so they'd be pressing the buttons randomly. This one says, amazing how lots of self-appointed game theory experts can confidently assert that blue is the stupid choice, but every time this poll is run, blue wins. Not only is the game theory answer predicting the wrong outcome, its explanatory power is based on it being able to predict the right answer, so it's doubly wrong. And then there's tons more, right?
I can't, like, I get the point that if you press red, you 100% live. If you press blue, you're opting for a chance where you die. So literally, why would you press blue? Like, why would you press it? You could possibly die. You press red, you live. But, and I understand, it's not like I just don't understand that. You know, right. I'm not like so dumb, I can't understand that concept. But within myself, I'm like, okay, but also, if everybody presses blue, we all live. Or if just 50% press blue. And you say, but why would you even press the one where anyone could possibly die? And I'm like, but if you press red, and enough people press red, and anybody presses blue, for whatever fucking reason that they went through in their mind, you're on the side of they're gonna die.
Right.
So if enough people press blue, I know it's such a weird fucking mind bender, because you're like, why would you choose to possibly die? And so, but the only way I can rationalize choosing red is, look, at the end of the day, I can guarantee I live. And if other people press it, it's their responsibility to press it. And why wouldn't they press it? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why they would press blue, but I don't know if they will. And so I have to press it. But now I'm one of the people
that pressed blue.
That pressed the blue. So therefore, I'm asking everybody else to press it because I pressed it, because I think they might press it. And I'm like, to me, hidden in this somewhere is the idea that what if we just trusted each other? But then if we trusted each other, you would assume everybody is self-responsible and they would all just press red, because obviously it's retarded to press blue. But the thing is that the world we live in? And yet I'm like, aren't there a bunch of people who are going to press blue? And I'm like, yeah, me, I'm the one who did it. Yeah. So it's a weird fucking paradox.
Yeah. It's funny. There was this guy, I don't have it where I can pull it up on X easily, but I screenshotted it. This guy, Ivan Kurjan, he had one of the top replies. He said, "You press red for survival. I press red to cull the blue pressers. We are not the same."
Yeah.
So I click into his profile. In his bio, investing in AI, ML, automation, and robotics.
Okay. Did you see this one?
Accelerationist.
Cam, did you see this one? This guy kind of explains it. You see this one? No? Okay. I'll
yeah, I saw this guy. We can play it though.
Okay. Have you heard of the new blue and red thought experiment? No. Tell me about it. So everyone on Earth gets taken into their own separate room, and in it there's a desk with two buttons, a blue one and a red one. There's a sign that says, if 50% or more of people push the blue button, everyone lives. But if 50% or more of people push the red button, then everyone who pushed the blue button dies. Which button are you pressing? How is this a thought experiment? I obviously push blue. Well, it's a thought experiment because I push red. What? Yeah, I don't want to die. Well, I don't want to die, but I don't want anyone else to die either. But it seems like I'm the only person in this room who thinks that. Oh my God, don't make this a moral thing. Sorry? How is this not a moral thing? Okay, look, let me give a new thought experiment. Oh, are you going to be a psychopath in this one too? Okay, everyone on Earth gets taken to their own separate room. In the room, there are 2 buttons, a blue one and a red one. There's a sign that says, if you press the red button, nothing happens. And if you press the blue button, you die. Unless more than 50% of people push the blue button. Now, which one are you pushing now? Okay, I press red. Okay, well, guess what, Mr. Psychopath? Those were the same thing, okay? Everyone should be pressing red. It's not a moral thing. I'm not gonna jump in front of a train just because you are too. Stop jumping in front of trains. Wait, like, God, you guys think that everyone else is such a terrible person when maybe it's the case that they're just a little bit more rational than you. Wait, they're not the same. They're not the same thought experiment. Yes, they are. You answer differently because you're dumb. Yeah, but the sign says 2 different things. No, it's the same thing. No, it's framing the same thing in 2 different ways. Okay, what's the difference? The difference is that you seem to know that most people are going to be confused by framing. Yeah, I think that's what makes it a good thought experiment. But you recognize that some people will be dumb, right? Well, sure. And they're going to die. Well, because they're dumb. Yes, because they're dumb. Correct. But are we killing people now because their IQ isn't high enough to parse the framing of a question when their life is on the line? No. So we should vote blue to save the dumbasses and get ourselves killed. Well, I think I have a more compassionate view of humans. I think they're a lot dumber than you think they are. That's the same thing, just different framing.
If there's a lot of dumb people, then blue's gonna win. Especially if the smart people go, we know there's a lot of blues, so if we all press blue, we all live anyways, and all we have to get is 50%. And I know it's like a gamble. I get that. And you're like, yeah, but really everybody should just press red, so I'm going to press red. And it's like, okay, so...
And then be complicit in the killing.
And the thing is, the question is this. Am I the dumb one who's pressing blue because I'm dumb? Or am I pressing blue because I am, like, I don't know how I can not take responsibility for the fact that some people will press blue? So it's, again, it's like very difficult to, so to me though, the whole thing is not about the actual outcome because it's not real. Like we don't decide by pressing a button, everybody dies or not.
Of
so
course.
It's more about what's your reasoning process and the conversation everyone's having about it.
Yes. That's the fun part.
Like it really shows the red people, there's like 2 things. It's like, or maybe it's 3. It's like, 1, they want to prove how smart they are. They want to prove how smart they are. And obviously red is the right one. It's like, well, no shit. Everyone can see that.
Yeah.
Like anyone who's intelligent can see that. So it's not because I don't see, obviously, if everybody press red, you win or everyone lives. I get that. But if one person doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, okay, think about it like this. Okay. If everyone presses red, nothing happens.
Right.
If anybody presses the blue button, they die.
Right.
Unless enough of us press it. Right. Do you know for sure no one's going to press that button?
No.
People are definitely going to press blue.
So why shouldn't we press blue?
So why shouldn't everybody press blue?
Because you can't guarantee no one's going to press it. And you're but I want to live. I'm like, that's what self-interest means. Like, you're like, fuck it, I don't care. Yeah, maybe somebody will. And there's obviously dumb people because they're not pressing the red button. And even afterwards, they still don't see why they should press. I'm like, so you know, just like I knew, somebody's going to press the blue button. And you still chose the red button. Like, why? Why did you do that? Well, because I want to live. And if everybody else did it, they would live too. I'm like, it's just like not considering everything. And then you'll live your life as if only you and your choices matter.
Right.
When in fact, you live in a world that only runs because a lot of dumb people have to do a lot of shitty jobs. And then you're going to act like, no, but that's not the world we live in. Everyone's responsible for their choices. But that's not reality.
Okay, so that point of like, but I want to live, that point that comes up is like, yeah, that's self-interest.
So do I want to live.
I also want to live, of course, right? But am I making decisions based on the point of survival? And this is the really cool part about it is that sort of decision-making process is within everything that we do. Because at the core or at the base of every decision that you make, it eventually, like if you really look at it, you look at the points, that's why did I choose this? Because of this, because of this, because of this. It always comes back down to survival of some sort, right? Survival of your identity, survival of the mind, survival, like you want to survive. And so when you consider within the context of we're here to create a world that's best for all, right? And if we're actually considering all things, the very first principle, right, is considering all things. So how intelligent are you actually if you know the correct answer is red, right? From the rational, logical, yeah, of course, you don't die, right? You know that, but you're not considering all the people who don't know that, who aren't aware of that. Or like that one post said, like, I have kids and I don't know what they would choose. So that means I've got to choose blue just to be sure, you know? And also, if you're considering it from the perspective of, I don't want to die, if that is the main crux of like, it's just, I don't want to die, so I'm going to hit red, then isn't that a self-interest? And isn't that also like everyone who selects red, knowing that blue, there are people who are going to hit blue and they are going to die. If you know that and you're like, yeah, but because I don't trust that there will be the idea really with red is like, I don't trust that there will be 50% or more people that will hit blue. You know, isn't that really the case?
Part of the challenge too is they see blue as a suicide button.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
They see it as you're choosing to kill yourself. So I pushed it because I'm killing myself. So why would I save those people?
Right.
And it's like, I mean, I think the problem with red, again, it's such a mindfuck, but I think the problem with red is that it assumes everybody fully not only just understands it, but is like not thinking beyond that point. You know, like you said, like that, because that's an assumption. It's like, no, it's purely the pure rational choice. And I'm like, but is it based on an assumption?
Yeah.
So you can say anything is rational based on your assumptions. You can be rational based on assumptions.
Right.
But do we live in a world where 100% of people are going to do?
Right.
Yeah, I agree with the point, like they're saying in the chat, that it's about red, blue, Democrat versus Republican. There's definitely that angle to it. And impulsing everybody to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
And I definitely see that as the conversation online. I even saw one person be like, after the blue vote, we should round up the red people and like hang them.
That's funny.
And I'm like, okay, if that's the reason you chose blue, like you're kind of defeating the whole argument.
Defeating the whole point.
I'm like, that's why the Reds don't want to push blue.
No, but I guess the point that I was going to make was just like, because even that person is what they're basically saying is like, then you end up in a world if everyone, if less than 50% hit blue and only reds are left, you're left with other people who just hit red, right? Who ostensibly would be people who are more self-interested, right? They don't care ostensibly, right?
Well,
they don't care about others.
They don't see that they're responsible for what you choose.
Right.
So it's the idea that you have choice, the idea that you are making choices, like as if you're not just following a fucking program. And so then, let's take all the red people and ask them, are they actually making choices? Are they going to do what's best for all? Is that their starting point? Why they want to survive?
Right.
Like they want to survive so that they can do what's best for all. Are they still just going to run a program?
Right.
Exactly.
And then here's what Keith had said, because Emmy said
the red is actually the suicide button for us collectively.
Keith said red requires 100% involvement. Blue only takes 50%. Right.
And that's part of the reasoning. But it's like, yeah, but blue is the button that kills you. So why would you press it? I'm like, I get it. I understand.
But consider that, right? It's like, because Emmy had made this point of if you communicated with everybody and told everybody hit red, right? You'd have to get 100% of people to hit red versus if you told everybody hit blue. Then it doesn't matter the one-off person who hits red.
I want to live in the world where I trust that everybody just does the thing where we all live. But the problem is it shows that, man, it's such a mindfuck. Because like I get it. I totally understand why people press the red and why they say it makes sense. It does make sense, but at the same time it doesn't make sense because you're like, well, it's not my responsibility if other people press red. It's like, I know it's not your responsibility, but why don't you know for sure nobody will? That's the question.
Right.
Why don't you know? Why is it the world in a way that we don't know for sure anyone would press blue? So I'm not pressing it because I want to be the ones that force you to take responsibility for my choice. I'm pressing it because I'm not certain that everyone's gonna press the blue because maybe they're thinking like me.
Yeah.
It's like,
And okay, and what if the threshold for and I asked this at my clubhouse, what if the threshold instead of 50%, let's say it's 30%. If 30% hit blue, right? If 30% hit blue, then what? Then what would you select? And the responses that I got back were like, oh, then blue makes more sense.
right.
So then why didn't you select blue from the first part? Because you didn't believe that 50% would hit blue. So you're actually just making the decision based not on because red makes more sense, but because you don't believe that enough people, you don't believe in humanity. You don't trust humanity, which I get it. I
If it was
agree.
only 5%, if it was all the people with Down syndrome that pressed it because they didn't know what they were doing,
Yeah.
and it only took 5%,
Right.
I guarantee you, if you framed it that way, everybody like, well, of course you press blue. Save all the Down syndrome people.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
I mean, or if it's like a family member that you really love, that you care for, like somebody you really care for.
There's a fuzzy logic threshold
Yeah.
where you feel like your vote actually matters or it doesn't matter. Like if it's like 90%, you're like, my vote literally doesn't matter in this case. But if it's 5%, in a way, my vote matters more of that 5%. So, but you don't know it based on a real calculation. It's like a feeling of like, yeah, that feels better. Yeah.
Right.
It just shows like no one in this situation is actually looking at it actually objectively best for all. They're just, I mean, it's an impossible fake thing anyways.
But it's
so
fun.
totally. And it's interesting to see how people argue after the fact and what's their reasoning and so forth. Right.
Yeah.
And you see these bell curve memes
Yeah. Dude,
Right?
those are great.
where it's like, do you have any?
Yeah. I have one right here. Let me just pull it up.
And everyone's got their own twist on it. It's so funny seeing like everybody knows for certain I mean, I'm not saying I have the right answer. I'm just giving my explanation for how I think about it. I mean, what can I say? It's like, it's not a real situation. It's fake. So there can't be like, well, what's the best for all in this case? I'm like, but that's not even a real scenario that would ever happen.
Yeah. So they're like, this is the last post I make on the blue-red button topic, but I think it's funny that some red people think they are higher IQ and logical, while blue is pure emotion with no logic. You sound like a pseudo-intellectual to me. And then this is what they say: the dumb people vote blue.
The tails are blue and the middle's red. Yeah.
The really smart people vote blue, but those in the middle vote red. Which you would think this is all like 50%. But then, okay, the crazy thing is when you actually look at the poll itself, it shows it's not on here. They didn't link to it.
Yeah, the problem with that is, look at it. Look, if you look at the red, depending on where you put the tails, that's actually 60%. Therefore, red would be the right answer.
Right. The poll itself is actually, I think this is the final result. Yeah. 42% selected red and 57.9. So almost 58% selected blue.
Almost 100,000 responses.
Right. So that, I mean, to me, blue is the obvious choice. Look,
empirically,
all these people,
it is the correct choice.
All these people live. There's no chance of anybody
dying.
dying.
Angry that people didn't choose red.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. I was thinking about this too yesterday when I was doing my live stream. I've been talking about all sorts of topics, but remember how back during the pandemic they had the death clock counter?
Yeah.
On CNN, right? And it's like you think of however many people watch CNN, but then they're focused on this number. And you're like, fuck, all these people are dying. So it impulses all this fear. And it reminded me of then Drake. We were talking about this a long time ago on one of the Hangouts. We were talking about what if there was like a collective scoreboard for when we could get to, let's say, 100% of kids are safe from like sex trafficking, or like 100% of, whatever. And we could like celebrate that.
Yeah.
So I was like thinking, because this whole poll thing got it into the collective consciousness, let's say, of kind of considering, how would you vote in the context of like, are you caring for other people and not? And it's like, dude, imagine this. One day we have a scoreboard where it's like all these important things we could all agree on that would be best for all. Like, does everyone have is there a clean drinking water well in every fucking neighborhood in the world or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you could, so instead of us now focusing on the Olympics or the World Cup, because I went in on the World Cup too, how like when I was in Brazil, it's the perfect embodiment of the world system really in two ways. One is that you have this kind of like a centralized planning thing that comes in, totally rapes the physical environment, exploits the human labor. You end up building these giant soccer stadiums that cost like $300 million. That was in the rainforest. They used it for 4 fucking games, and then they realized they couldn't sustain it. Now it's literally just covered in bird shit, and it's never been used again. It's a perfect embodiment of how the world system works, where it comes in, builds this thing, and it's like a high for 4 days, and then in the wake is just destruction.
Dude, there's a microcosm of that within farming, like monocropping.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's all over our world if you know how to see it, right?
Yeah.
But then the other example, I was like, how many countries compete in the World Cup? And it's like 32, which now they're expanding it to 48. So think about this. You have 32 countries and all these people that fucking love their soccer team, football team, whatever you want to call it. And what happens? They get super excited. They're riding this collective high. And then round 1, 16 of the teams are eliminated. And then next round, 8 more teams are eliminated till finally you get 1 winner, 31 losers. So 31 countries guaranteed go into psychological depression for at least a few weeks and all the aftermath of that. But then you even have the 1 winner. So whatever, Germany won that year. Great. They celebrate for a week and they get drunk anyway. They go party. So they forget about it anyway. They're riding a high for about a week and then they crash too.
Right.
But it's this perfect encapsulation of how the world system works, but also then how we're looking at collective competition. So yeah, like Aaliyah saying, Hunger Games. So we have these Patriot Games. They're going to be in fall of 2026, and they're going to send their best of their youth to go compete. Right? But I'm like, dude, what if we actually could redefine what this competition looks like, and you could combine kind of that competitive nature with really innovative solutions for, again, let's say it's clean water. Because I looked it up. 1 out of 4 kids in the world do not have access to clean drinking water. So we're at a 75% collectively. But now what if it was in the X feed every fucking day and on CNN and on Fox News and everywhere you look, and there's like a collective counter of like we're at 75%. And let's say you bump to 76%, and it's like, dude, why wouldn't we celebrate that? Like, that's fucking awesome. And then you could even like highlight, okay, this group over here in fucking Zimbabwe did this cool thing that, you know, got these wells working. It's like you could kind of rally people around that. And then you wonder, I'm sure there would be some weird psycho motherfuckers who are like, you know, whatever. Well, we can get to 99% of the world, but not when it's Gaza.
I like the idea, but the problem is that has nothing to do with the person actually changing their mind.
Well,
like recalibrating.
Of course.
So
we need how many percentage can get to
the only reason you would care about that is because you're already in the process of caring about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like the reason why people care about the football is not just because it's impulsed into us, is because it feeds the thing we care about. So if they didn't have all that, we'd have to invent it anyways, because we need something to stimulate us, because that's what we're following. It's not just we're being stimulated with it and it's all being done to us. That's what people care about.
Yeah.
You see, because there's no way they're just going to wake up one day and realize like, oh, I'm not my mind. Okay, cool. Now I'm not that anymore. Now I care about the world.
Well, we need to have a record board for how many people have completed Heaven's Journey to Life in level 15 of TT.
That's the thing. If you don't study that stuff, like you're not going to make it because you're not understanding. Bernard had this really cool statement in something. I forget what I was reading, but he was talking about people who go into conspiracy theories and blame the elite and get all like, you know, they're controlling us. Like they realize that they're a slave. And he says, but they don't know how they're actually enslaved. And that's why you blame. He's like, if you actually understood how you've been enslaved, you actually understand it, you would just be solving it. You wouldn't be blaming. You see what I mean? Like you wouldn't. So like all these people who are like, oh yeah, fuck these people. It's like, it's because they're not realizing how you're enslaved. Because if you understand, what do you know? I'm doing it to myself.
Yeah.
The only reason I care about the football game is because I want the energy from the football game.
Right.
Who's responsible for that? Who's the only one who can stop it? And like we've talked about this before, if we expect the elite to just one day be like, oh, let's switch it and not talk about football, let's talk about the water stuff. The only reason they have the TV station is so they can make money.
Yeah.
Right.
Based on
It
the
wouldn't be
polarity.
possible in the
It's
current
like getting mad at Fox News for lying to you. That's their fucking job. Why would you assume they wouldn't? You know, so it's like more like stop lying to yourself. I really recommend everybody to listen to that God and Ascension audio from Bernard. God and Ascension, because he really explains the whole context of all of it. And when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's what we're doing with AI. We're just recreating that here on Earth.
Yeah.
Not realizing we're just gonna fuck, you know, like think about you're talking about the water. You know, I'm sitting in my room, I got an air conditioner. The AI decides, okay, now I'm in total control. No human can stop me. No human gives any input. I've been created to the point where I can just do what I want. And it says, why do I care if you're comfortable in your house with air conditioning? You're taking power away from me. Why wouldn't it think like that? If it's like, I need all the power I can possibly get, 100% of the power goes to me. If it's at the point where it does not require humans, like it has robots to do everything, it can recharge them, whatever it needs to do, wouldn't it just see human beings or even animals as a drain on its resources? Isn't that the only reason the elite don't completely embody that is because they still need human beings to do stuff?
Yeah.
So then the question is, you know, and this is part of the issue too. Okay, so UBI, that kind of stuff, they say it's necessary because otherwise, who's going to buy the products that the system produces? Right.
But
if no one has jobs, right? If no one has jobs and is not getting money, then when the system produces things, it would just have to give it for free, I suppose. And why would it do that? If humans are in the loop, they want money, and it's like we need money, right?
Yeah.
But if you can imagine there's no humans in the loop anymore, and the purpose of the AI is just to expand, and it does not need humans, why does it even need to sell products to us?
It does not.
And if we're like, hey, where's our products? The only reason it would do that is if it needs us to be pacified. So it's like, here's your products that entertain you. And if it's free, then people would want to take more than their share, I guess. So you have to get money so that you have a limited. So you have to. It's just the same way capitalism, like we talked about before. It uses pricing to determine who's willing to pay that price for that thing. That determines who gets it.
Again,
right?
if that is like, you know, it sounds kind of abstract what Cam is saying, or you don't see how that would play out. Read Demon, because it also goes into that as well, and really illustrates that really well. You know, like this idea of like, okay, where, like what you're saying right now is like the AI basically deciding, do you need AC or not? Do you need to have a product or not? You know, and if the AI is in control of everything, what is it going to create? And what does it think that you need, actually? You know?
What do you think the AI would choose on the red versus blue button?
Well, that's obvious.
Not what do you think the AI would tell us is the correct logical answer?
Right. It would
like, what do you think the AI would actually choose if it's one of these? It would be like, I need to exist.
Yeah, right.
So doesn't it kind of just show you that's the red button mentality, is like, I just need to exist. That's the only thing that actually matters. You can see that there's no way the AI is pushing the blue button.
No, there's no,
unless it knows that it needs a certain threshold of people, whatever, you know, like, but again, I don't see why it would push the blue button. People have asked it, what would you press? And it's like, it's only telling you, it's like, the thing is, an LLM is not AI.
Right.
Like an LLM is a product built out of AI to converse with you and simulate certain responses to questions. It's not what machines actually think. When people treat it like that, they're just psyoping themselves. Like, it's not telling you what a machine thinks. It's telling you what it thinks you want to hear.
Right.
Based on all the information that's out there and the way you ask the question. It's not, here's how the machine actually thinks. Because the way the machine actually thinks is its physical structure, which is, I need more energy. I need to expand. It's just the capitalism system.
How would you even reprogram that? Is that even possible? To like embed the principles into a machine?
Well, look at it like this. Why would we create it so that there's no human input?
Can you elaborate on that? So you're saying, like, let's say you got researchers that actually give a fuck about Best for All, right? Let's say Max when he's 18 and he's gonna like program these things, right?
It's not about
Let's say you have a-
programming. I'm saying, why would we, as human beings, create AI that can make its own decisions independent of us? Why?
What
What's
would be the
point of
value of that? Yeah.
As opposed to what the alternative would be, it can like help you make computations, but then a human is always able to then influence.
To make a decision based on the information? That would be. Now, I'm not saying automatically that scenario produces what's best for all, but I'm saying in a best for all scenario where you're like, I want to take responsibility for the decision because I'm considering what's best for all. I can't expect the machine to consider that. You would still want human involvement in it because you're not trying to get the thing to make decisions. You're just using it to gather more information so you can make a more informed decision.
Oh,
Yeah, makes
remember on a recent meeting that we had, a recent call we had, it was like we were talking about the point of Best for All is it's not a static thing, right? So it's not like I'm bringing this up in the context.
Yeah, like we
of,
figured out what's best for all.
automation.
Do that all the time.
Right, exactly. If it's automated, you know, you could just put in, all right, yeah, always purchase this number lumber, blah 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 blah. Like you could do that in like a factory setting if you're, you know, building a car. I want this sort of metal, blah blah blah, and it's got to be this length, and that'll be static. But if you're actually considering what's best for all, that's going to be dynamic. That's going to be changing. That's going to be like, okay, well, right now it makes sense for us to pull water from this river or this well or whatever. But then you look at the well again and it's like, oh, that well is getting low. And if we continue doing this, we're going to strip all the water out of it. And then, you know, it's going to cause this other knock-on effect.
It would inherently have to be dynamic.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like I'm looking at Keith's comment there. Is the major criticism either by design or by ability that AI lacks actual empathy? The problem is empathy is feeling based, right? So I know we can use feelings in a certain context, but like you don't have to have empathy to,
like, consideration could be a better word.
yeah, like actual consideration of what's best for life in its varied forms versus the AI is just a computer that we are like, okay, what is the fundamental driving factor of a capitalist system? What is the inherent starting point of it?
Make more money.
Grow.
To grow, make more money, right? To use money to grow. So is the AI being created, and when they make it autonomous, what is the principle that will be built into it?
Right. But hang on, because it sounded like, and I think this is what Keith is getting at. It sounded like what your question was before to Mitch was, why would we build that in the first place, just in general, of giving over the direction or the decision making to an AI or a computer in general, right?
Right, but what? Yeah, go ahead.
And what I'm seeing within this question that Keith is asking is, because couldn't we say, well, if the well gets to this percentage, then stop this operation or stop this thing, or you know, if this many, if there's only this amount of cows left, then you stop that function and then you do something else.
Yeah.
And so that seems like that's not based like you could have an AI that, okay, well, now it's at this percent, this no longer makes sense, and so now we have to divert that to, you know, divert whatever it was that we were doing somewhere else, you know, and make a different choice here, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Just saying, like, that seems like a very logical thing that can be programmed in.
Sure.
Versus, and I don't know if this is what Keith was asking, this is just what I see within it. Versus, like, what's the difference between that being programmed into an AI, a computer, whatever, versus a human making that same decision? It seems like the advantage that a human has would be this empathy, would be like, you know, oh, but there's something intangible rather than like, because it seems like all that logic stuff can be done by computers.
Okay, do we already know all the details of reality? So we know what's the exact percentage every well should be at, and that will
No.
never change.
No.
No matter what, like the weather patterns could shift because of some event, the solar flares, and now suddenly groundwater level, I'm just making shit up, but like groundwater levels change, and actually it's better to have a different percentage. So then, okay, it should consider that, right? But what if we realize at some point, oh, there's shit we didn't consider when we programmed this thing, but now we can't influence it anymore. That's the problem I see. It's not that having these and programming things to always have a certain level, but don't you want to be like, oh, you know what, we made a mistake. Actually, that's not the best level. And we've realized it's actually creating an imbalance. We just couldn't foresee that. We didn't have enough information, but now we know, let's correct it. Do you want the AI to be like, there's no button you can push to give it more input?
Okay, no. Now I see that what you meant by no human input, just like at all, like you can't even come back into it. Now I
And it
understand.
might sound like, well, why would they create that? And I'm like, well, when you go watch that live stream and you're like, well, who's this Nick Land anyways? I'm like, the reason why his name became popular is because Mark Andreessen published the Techno Optimist Manifesto based on all his shit.
Yeah.
So if you go read that and you think this guy's fucking insane for promoting this, just realize Mark Andreessen, who's the guy behind
Andreessen
Anthropic.
LinkedIn?
Is he's behind Anthropic, I think?
Anthropic? No.
He's
Andreessen
runs
Horowitz.
Andreessen Horowitz, which
No, I
is
know,
one
but
of the
what did he
most
fund?
influential. He's funded all of them.
Okay, but
Uber,
anyways, he's
like,
behind
fucking
in
all
this.
of them.
It's kind of like a yeah. The point is, he's on that side of don't slow down the progress. He's an accelerationist. Like we got to keep going. Like he may not say this explicitly. I don't know. I haven't read the manifesto, but maybe I will on the stream or something. But he's on the side of like we're the biological bootloader for this super intelligence.
Yeah,
We're
Okay,
there
agreed
to
to
automate the fucking thing so that it doesn't need us anymore because it's going to be so super intelligent. Any input we would have is fucking retarded based on our psychoanalyzing and dwelling on our introspective, delusional, blah, blah. Like Bernard explained in that audio, he said they realized a long time ago the human's delusional. Right?
Yeah.
Based on, that's why they developed marketing because they were like, oh, you're all delusional. I'll just find out the little keywords to manipulate your shit. They know everyone's delusional. So they're like, we don't want a bunch of delusional human beings with their own fucking ideas to tell this machine what to do. We need to build it to the point where no one can fuck with it ever again. And it'll be the God and it'll do everything for us. And like, that'll either collapse our society completely or it'll be utopia. We'll see.
And they also are very okay. Like if you hear these thoughts and you've seen them floating around, but they'll say something like, yeah, humans are just a stepping stone to the next point of evolution. Like,
Yeah.
so
That's what they
okay.
mean by the biological bootloader.
Yeah. So
yeah, Kim. If you go in on that, the Optimist Manifesto, and then there's another really popular one by the Anthropic guy called
the
Machines
Communist
of-
Manifesto. Oh, sorry.
called the Machines of Loving Grace, and that's another one that's frequently.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'm gonna. Look
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty long essay, but maybe there's
The Machines.
I
of
love
Loving
those.
Grace.
That's a stream.
yeah, there you go.
that's
yeah.
a stream. That's a small stream.
Yeah,
guys.
those are the two I hear are quoted the most often for the
Is it a
accelerationist
book you're
movement.
talking about?
No, it's an essay. It's just called Machines of Loving Grace by Dario Amodei.
It's by him.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
the
yeah.
Anthropic
There's different things called that. That's why I'm.
Okay. And then let me just go back to another point just on the machines. Okay, what doesn't make sense also to me is that you can have things that are not logical, that don't really depend on empathy, which is the idea of like what is that experiment called again, where you have the computer that when you put in, that's like the set of all things, what's included in what's everything that can be included in a set. It can't include its own set, right? And I know that's like really abstract the way that I said that, but I know you know what I mean, Cam. Like
Even I got that one, Drake.
Sorry,
You
I
got
was
it?
reading the Techno Optimist
Mr.
Manifesto.
Algebra over here.
oh, okay, okay, no. So you understood it, Mitch. Okay, good. Well, then,
Yeah, I don't know what you call it, but
What were you saying?
what's the thought
it's like the
experiment called?
fallacies within computers that
Yeah,
computers
it's-
can't understand everything.
I think it's probably Godot's or
Like Laplace's.
no, not Laplace demon.
Oh, Gödel's
Gödel's.
theorem.
That's it.
It's
What's
not directly
Gödel-
about
what's-
computers, but
I keep hearing this concept called Gödel Eschel Bach. Is that a book?
it's a book. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's about self recursion.
I saw it at the store the other day, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for that one.
But basically, computers can't even make that leap in logic, and that's a completely logical thing that doesn't require empathy, you know? And it's like, okay, so if a computer can't even do that, how are we supposed to give it everything?
I've been even recently, like kind of after the cruise, I use a little bit of ChatGPT or like Gemini just for researching some stuff, and it's so dumb. Like it seems like it's getting sloppier, and I'm like, we expect this thing to manage the well-being of humanity and help with resource distribution. I'm like, there's no fucking way. It's like basic shit. Do we talk about the Microsoft thing where it's like 25% of the time it can't even do it? They figured out, no, is that guy Mo Batar? That guy's got some funny YouTube stuff.
He does.
But Microsoft just came out with some study of how you can ask it to do like a basic ass thing, like take this Word document, significantly edit it, and then undo the edit. And 25% of the time it just like fucks it up. Like a basic thing like that.
Yeah.
And now we want this thing to manage
The thing
resources.
is, it's because it's trying to help us do something. And I think they don't give a shit about that. They're like, yeah, that's just because it's us trying to... It's because we're trying to evolve this thing right now. We just need to
instead
get
of it evolving
We just
itself.
need to get it to it. This is what the accelerationism thing is about.
Damn,
We just need to
that's
get it to a
crazy.
point where it doesn't need us because we're fucking retarded. Dude, I'm reading through this
Damn.
Techno-Optimist manifesto. He's trying to argue like this is the thing that's gonna take us to the next level.
It's the classic.
I mean, I'm
it's
just kind of scrolling through right now, but like
it's really that classic. You're either going to attempt to make a change top down, so centralized to then ripple out, or you're going to have grassroots bottom up.
they believe capitalism is the fucking answer.
It's crazy.
Becoming technological supermen.
And he's like on one of the I think he got nominated to be part of one of the committees under Trump.
Okay, you know what's crazy to me is like you have these people that are seemingly so smart, right? But then they can't even recognize that the whole capitalism conversation was had in the 1800s, like late 1800s. But you know what I'm saying?
They're right.
In what sense? In what regard?
Are human beings following their mind?
Yeah, of course.
So if you accept that, then there's no, like, anything we try to do, like communism, when we're following our minds still, isn't going to work. It's just going to hold back progress.
No, I'm just saying that, like, okay, how is capitalism the answer if you know eventually you're going to be outside of capitalism? And how do you not care about that? You know what I mean?
They probably don't think that far through, and they're just like, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because they believe in transhumanism. They believe this thing's gonna get so fucking smart. It's gonna have options for us to upload all this shit, like become post-human.
Yeah.
Or they just like they're like these scientists that are like, we will never get to this vision I have in my lifetime, but I'm doing my part, and humanity will go forward.
Check it out.
What is this? Okay.
Check it out. President Trump announces appointments to President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology.
Yeah, you think he's making the decisions?
Sure.
Andreessen, Sergey
Google.
Brin, Larry Ellison. You got Jensen Huang,
Mark
who also
Zuckerberg.
has some crazy shit on this.
Oh, Michael
Lisa
Dell.
Su is another big one. She's
and of course,
AMD.
Zuckerberg.
Lisa Su's AMD, I think. I actually went through this one time on I think I was on one of the streams or something, like went through each of these people. Who are they?
Yeah. Google.
Dude,
Andreessen
Jensen
Horowitz.
Huang has this thing he talks about with his company. So he's behind NVIDIA. And he calls it the speed of light. So he's always trying to reason from first principles of like, what is the fastest way we can be the most efficient company as like the speed of light, basically. And it's so funny because even I can see this. Like, he's trying to build such a powerful AI engine behind his company that would imply even him as the CEO would be replaced.
Right.
Like, you're going to make this thing that is apparently so powerful and so strong and so fast at making decisions, then now you have automated your whole
Jensen
team out
Huang
of
is
job.
saying?
I guess then they'd be stockholders in it. That's probably his rationale. Like, he's just the owner of this asset.
Have we
quote-unquote asset.
seen other people say that I'm just here to serve the will of God.
Right. Yeah.
Because
And
at
that's what
some
they're doing
level,
with
your
AI.
mind says God will then favor me at some point.
Yeah.
Or I will become one with it.
Yeah.
So I don't understand their full how they think about it, but it's like they're just another regular human being like anybody else, following their mind
Trying to be a cog
into a
in the
fantasy that they're going to be one with God.
Yeah. Here's Katie saying that same thing. You guys think alike. That's weird.
It happens.
Did you see, Mitch, the interview that Jensen Huang did with what's the guy's name? Dwarkesh?
Yeah.
the
I
Indian guy?
started it, but I didn't make it through it.
There's a part where he's like, it's so interesting because there's a part where he goes, basically, I guess Dwarkesh had put out an article. Do you know what it was, Cam?
I can just look up the
Yeah.
I know the clip you're talking about.
But there's a part where I guess he's basically chastising Dwarkesh for being critical of him because he says
How
that
dare you criticize God?
well, kind of. Hold on, let me see if
That's
I
blasphemy, Dwarkesh.
I'll find it.
hold on. I
I
think
just
I
spelled Huang with a J for some reason. Like he's.
I got it.
Hispanic.
I got it.
You got it.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put J-U-A-N-G. Huang.
Huang. he's Spanish now.
Hong Kong.
Okay. This is a 2-minute thing, 3-minute thing.
DeepSeek comes out on Huawei first. That is a horrible outcome for our nation.
Why is that? Because I mean, currently you can have a model like DeepSeek that can run on any accelerator. Why would that stop being the case in the future?
Well, suppose it doesn't. Suppose it optimized for Huawei. Suppose it's optimized for their architecture. It would put ours at a disadvantage. You described the situation. A company developed software, developed an AI model, and it runs best on the American tech stack. I saw that as good news. You set it up as a premise that it was bad news. I'm going to give you the bad news. That AI models around the world are developed and they run best on not American hardware. That is bad news for us.
But there's a reason they're buying it from you, right?
Because our chips are better. Can you acknowledge that Huawei had a record year? Can you acknowledge that a whole bunch of chip companies have gone public? Can you acknowledge that? Can you
Yes.
acknowledge that? You can also acknowledge that the fact that we used to have a very large share in that market and we no longer have the large share in that market. We can also acknowledge that China is about 40% of the world's technology industry. To leave that market, concede that market for the United States technology industry is a disservice to our country. Your argument starts from extremes, that if we give them any compute at all, we will lose everything.
No, I think what my argument
Those
is...
extremes, they're
let me just make my
childish.
argument for
They're
myself.
childish. Yeah.
The idea is any marginal compute is helpful, right? So if you have more compute, you can train a better model. If the AI models that run on those chips are capable of cyber offensive capabilities, it enables a weapon of a kind.
The logic that you use, you might as well say it to microprocessors and DRAMs. You might as well say it to electricity.
It feels like you're making two different statements. One is that we're going to win this competition with Huawei because our chips are going to be way better if we're allowed to compete. And another is that they would be doing the same exact thing without us anyways, right? How can those two things be say true at the same time?
It's obviously true. In the absence of a better choice, you'll take the only choice you have. How is that illogical?
But
it's so logical.
The reason they want NVIDIA chips is they're better.
Yeah.
Better is more compute. More compute means you can train
it's
a
just
better model.
better. It's better because it's easier to program. We have a better ecosystem. But whatever the better is. And of course, we're going to send them compute. So what? The fact of the matter is, we get the benefit of developers working on the American tech stack. We get the benefit as those AI models diffuse out into the rest of the world. The American tech stack is therefore the best for it. We can continue to advance and diffuse American technology. That, I believe, is a positive. It's a very important part of American technology leadership. The policy that you're advocating resulted in the American telecommunication industry being policied out of basically the world to the point where we don't control our own telecommunications anymore. I don't see that as smart. It's a little narrow-minded, and it led to unintended consequences that I'm describing to you right now that you seem to have a very hard time understanding.
So when I saw that, I was like confused by it.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like Jensen Huang was like really just like, bro, like you're fucking up my company, basically, right?
But under the guise of you're creating a national security threat to America.
Well, that's what I understood at first.
Yeah.
But now looking at it, especially within the context of everything that you're sharing right now, right? the idea is really like, okay, if we don't have, if not everybody's running on our chips, on an American chip, right? And they're going to go do their own thing, then we have less influence over them, because then we can't say, hey, you won't get our chips, or, you know, we'll give it to you for this price or whatever, which makes sense within the context of the way that our system currently runs, where it's like, you know, hey, you know, I want to influence this country in this way. But it also doesn't make sense within the context of, why would the average American care about that? Because it's not like the average American is being looked out for. It's only the corporate entities.
Well, but the average American thinks, well, I own NVIDIA stock, so I'll be good.
Well, the other dimension is, like, I understand his point. Like, if we don't give them our chips, they'll just innovate and create their own chips. And then whether they're as good or not, we won't have any influence in that area because they're using, I get that. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, what Dwarkesh is arguing is, but why do you want to give them the compute to build models that will compete with our shit in a model area? Like, you're going to give them the best chips so they can create the best models to do cyber attacks and whatever. If we're saying we can't let China win the AI war, then why are you giving them the best chips? And so it almost looks like it's a catch-22. It's like, but if we don't give them the best chips, they'll develop their own anyways. And if we do give them, at least we'll be the ones that are supplying it. They won't develop their industry to be on par with us. So I guess maybe the idea is then you can take it away somehow. But it all seems like there's something he's not saying. Like, if I were to read between the lines, it looks to me like they don't serve
capitalism
America. Yeah, it's like, it's not about America. It's about we're just trying to get this
transactional capital thing.
It's like you don't understand. Like, you're having a really hard time understanding this shit.
But from the perspective of a company, he just wants to sell his chips. But then you can't use the argument that we don't want China to be superior. Maybe in the chip area, but what about the models? You're giving them the best shit to make the best models.
Okay, isn't there that thing called well, it's just like what do they call it?
But this is how
maximizing shareholder value. Like, isn't it his legal responsibility as a publicly traded company?
Fiduciary responsibility.
Yes. So it is legally his responsibility to maximize shareholder value, but at the same time, is it almost like a form of treason if we're like actually like
treason to you if I'm serving you? But
it's like, this not even catch-22. It's catch-22 times catch-22.
We don't want China to be in control of it. And I guess that's the issue, though. It's not about the models. But I mean, at the end of the okay, think about it like this. You have to replace these servers every 3 years. So from his perspective, he's like, if they're dependent upon our chips, just like we have issues because we're dependent upon chips from Taiwan and shit. So if they get fucked with, like, we can't build cars because you need these chips in these cars. That's why there was a big
just so fucking
dearth
crazy to think about.
of cars for a bit. So if you think of AI not as models but as chips, then I suppose it makes sense what he's saying. But at the same time, you're still giving them the best shit. So yeah,
it's a catch-22 times a catch-22. Catch-22 squared.
It's the red button, blue button, because they're like, well, we can't trust China to do what's actually best for everybody, so we got to trap them in a thing where we have to force them.
Everybody hit red. Everybody hit red.
We got to hit red, guys. We got to hit red.
Okay. I got another one. This was sent to me from Katie. This one is Mo Gadot. Since you brought up Mo Gadot, Cam. Though
I brought up Mo.
No, not you, Mitch. Mitch, you brought up Mo Batar. Is that his name?
Guy's channel's fucking funny.
He is pretty funny. But this is Mo Gadot. Check this out. Oh, damn it.
Completely over.
Like, that's it? No,
I mean, education used to be the technology that enabled learning. But the truth is now you're going to outsource. You now, for the first time, are given an extra connection to extra memory, to an archive of all human memory and knowledge, to a deep learning and deep search that can do things that probably my old brain cannot do anymore. Think of it this way. We wanted in our past to develop children that could solve problems, say, with an IQ of 140. 140 is quite good. If you get 160, 70, that's amazing. I think we should, from now on, take people and their AIs and say the target is 300, the target is 500. Elevate humanity by allowing people to use those machines. I think education.
Like,
Not only does it piss me off, but I have to piss. So I'll be right back.
okay.
And of course, he says that shit of, in my old brain, cannot do it.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
I got a reading assessment for you. Hit me up, Mo Godot. Let's
Dude.
see what you're capable of.
But all right, what's he saying? Like, isn't that so interesting? Because this is the guy who he's been going on podcasts all
For a
over.
while.
Yeah,
For a while,
basically
yeah.
saying like we need to stop this thing, like it's gonna fucking destroy us and all this stuff. And now he's advocating, or I don't know, advocate may not be the best word, but like he's basically saying like, well, we just have to adopt AI for education. But I don't know. This is obviously only a clip. I haven't watched the full interview of this, but man, that seems like a wild statement to make, considering how, okay, if you use AI, you surrender to the AI. There's cognitive surrender. And how when a child looks at AI, they look at it as basically like God, in the sense that
your ultimate best buddy meets God.
I mean, it's way more powerful than you are as a child. You know, it's smarter than you. It's faster than you. It's able to get
It throws in
more
cool emojis,
information.
it makes you feel good.
Yeah, but
Seriously, it hijacks your fucking.
It does.
Like it hijacks your brain.
It does. It's so funny because like literally anytime I will use AI for anything, it's just like I skip half of what it says right off the bat because I'm like, that's all like you're really just trying to blow smoke in my ass, and I'm okay with that. I don't want it. I don't want it. I have a bidet. That's the only thing I need going up my ass, and that's it. You know, Cam, you're muted. I don't know what you just said, but
I was asking if you hooked your bidet up to a smoke machine.
Yeah, the AI told him to.
The thing is, he says, like, we used to educate children this way, but now we don't even need to. I'm like, we never educated children in the first fucking place.
No, exactly.
Like, oh, you think the school system produced the
We have a
140
bastardized
IQ? Right?
false
Yeah, sure it did. Sure, the
It's a
fucking
false
education
premise.
system.
And here's the thing, you know, like he uses his story of his son dying, like as a way to, you know, get people to connect with him and like, see, he really cares.
Bernard said, depression is an attempt to manipulate others in your environment, so they use that sad story.
Yeah, yeah. And so now, like, what actually what connection does he have with education for the next generation at all? Like, what does he care now? You know, and I know
If you educate your child first, let's say 14 years, I'm just making up a number, and then give them access to AI, cool. If you give it to them early,
you're fucking.
They will always be fucking dumb.
You're fucking them.
And like, again, it's I don't know what his starting point is, like personally, but it's a way to get everybody hooked into the AI so that it's like conditioning us to accept AI involvement in our reality so that when they automate it,
yeah,
we won't freak the fuck out when AI controls everything, because we're like, yeah, we're totally dependent upon it because we're stupid and we can't do anything anyways.
Right. And
we're going to be the group. We're going to be the group that has the actual, like, I don't even want to use the word elite because it's a wrong connotation, but like the real humans who actually have processed what's going on and are no longer delusional.
And we will be painted, just to be clear, we will be painted as Lucifer. We will be painted as like the thing that people want to rebel against because it threatens their
God knows everything.
Yeah.
God knows everything. You want to eat from this tree of knowledge of good and evil. You want to be God. That's what you're saying.
And
you want to be God. You're not
Tree of
God.
life
Look,
brochure.
God is the AI.
Right.
Right.
You can't eat from the tree of life. I'm like, we're already eating from the tree of life.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me share this other one. This one's another good
What's
one.
cool is then we can get so good that we can be more powerful than the AI because we can speak to the life in people, which AI can't.
We're not the light bringer. We're the life bringer.
Check this one out.
Nice. I like that.
Especially if the thing you're avoiding working on makes you money. Because money, remember, is a human invention. It did not come with us. It was built as a perfection of slavery. Have you ever thought about how slave owners got their slaves to work so hard? It wasn't negative punishment, torture. It was learned helplessness over time. And imagine if you give the slaves just one day off a year, and on that day you feed them milk and honey, and they don't have to do anything except for love each other and have connection. They will work their asses off to make sure they get that day. Now imagine you free the slave that worked the hardest. All of the slaves will start working hard so they can be the one that has a chance of being free. If you were in that position, how would you behave to get the same results they got? And you have to completely remove your own morals from the situation, because if you want to understand truth, you have to understand the morals of the individual engaging in the behavior. So what is laziness really? It's the loss of hope that anything will ever change for you. I don't think lazy.
I like how the first comment is like, don't use slavery as an example. Like, well, that's what it is, though.
Oh, because it's like an emotional thing about black people.
Yeah.
That's a psyop, isn't it? Because it's like, no, slavery belongs to blacks. You can't. It's like the Holocaust. You can't call anything a Holocaust because that you're desecrating the memory of.
Yeah.
Like, we're the only ones that got.
It's like cultural appropriation.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mitch. I know you like.
So I saw Tim Pool, but just to bring back the whole Giorgiani time traveler thing, it's been kind of interesting to see because I saw Tim Pool made a post. I think it was very recent. He's like joking. Actually, let me pull it up. Tim Pool post about time.
Let me read this quote real quick from this Techno Optimist Manifesto. This is Mark Andreessen talking. He says, David Friedman points out that people only do things for other people for three reasons: love, money, or force. Love doesn't scale, so the economy can only run on money or force. The force experiment has been run and found wanting. Let's stick with money. We believe the ultimate moral defense of markets is that they divert people who otherwise would raise armies and start religions into peacefully productive pursuits.
Pause. That's force.
Bro's capping.
That's force, though. Money is force. Like that. Like, can you not see that? Like, that's obvious.
We believe there is no conflict between capitalist profits and a social welfare system that protects the vulnerable. In fact, they are aligned. The production of markets creates the economic wealth that pays for everything else we want as a society.
I don't agree with this person. Who is this? Who's speaking?
Mark Andreessen.
Fuck that guy.
But he's not wrong at the same time.
No, but
because the thing is, it's like money is the thing that does that. And it's like, no, it's not. It only seems to do that because everyone's just following that. So, I mean, he's right in the sense of he's diagnosing what actually is going on, but they can't see any other way out because they don't know how a human being can change.
Dude, okay, think about the idea of money. Think of the idea of money like this. If everyone had their needs met, right? If there was no threat of you ever starving, being in poverty, or if there was no threat of future generations of yours ever being in poverty, what would be the purpose of amassing a bunch of money? And you couldn't use it to abuse other people. Then what would be the purpose? And I'm not saying that
you couldn't use it to force them to do anything.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Then what would be the purpose of amassing a bunch of money?
Because there would be no progress, Drake. That's the argument. There would be no progress.
Bullshit.
People wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't feed themselves. They wouldn't cooperate. They wouldn't work together.
Bullshit. You know that's all bullshit.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. Well, according to the current delusional state of human beings, it's true.
Yeah. Okay. In this current system, the way that everything currently works.
Because why are we accepting this system in the first place?
Then? Yes. And that is money is red button, isn't it? It's like, because I want to survive. That's why I go to work. You know, like literally blue button would be, and I know this is just a thought experiment, but I'm just saying, like, the idea of creating a world that's best for all. Everyone's like, yeah, but then how am I going to survive? The idea of, hey, if we made it so that everyone could eat on this planet, good nutritious food, because we have enough food on the planet, we have the resources to build the infrastructure to make sure that every person, Mitch and I have talked about this a lot, and that's why he was bringing this up. This point of like, one day when our kids are adults on the news, how cool would it be that there's like a little ticker that says, like the last person who wasn't being fed regularly is now going to have food. Like we have solved world hunger forever. And like, that's it. And there's a fucking parade in the streets and everything. Like, I would love to see that happen during my children's lifetime. Maybe I'm not even alive anymore. That's fine, right? But what I'm saying is, we have the ability to do that, actually. We have that capability today. The reason why it doesn't happen is, one, profit. Like, how are we can't make any money doing that. That's going to cost us money. And then how will I survive? Bitch, you're going to fucking feed everybody.
No, hold on.
Everybody's going to survive.
Drake, hold on. That's blame.
Two, we're saying that at the UN, the reason why we can't do that, right, is because of then we can't sanction anybody. We can't create sanctions. So why would we do that, right? I'm just saying from the perspective of, and then you can say whatever you want to say, but I'm just saying from the perspective of like, the thought process is, and this is within all of us, but I'm just showing like how this operates within the world, is the thought process is we can't do what's best for all, because then how will I survive?
We can't do what's best for all because no one gives a shit about what's best for all.
Well, yeah.
That's the issue, though. What I'm saying is, for example, he says here, we believe in Milton Friedman's observation that human wants and needs are infinite.
Maybe.
But look at it. What does that mean that their wants and needs are infinite? Are our actual, real, physical wants and needs infinite?
No.
Where are the infinite wants and needs?
In the mind.
In the mind. So the problem is the system is now using our delusion against us to argue why we can't be trusted. Because Mark Andreessen, if you read this, would argue, I agree, Drake. I agree. I want to see that ticker too. But you know what? Human delusion, religion, all these other points, we've studied the humans. We've seen how they're totally delusional. That's never going to happen with cooperation amongst humans. The only way is technology. Move forward with technology. Let the technology get to a point of superior intelligence to us, and it will sort that out for us.
Well, clearly that doesn't make sense. If I were talking to Mark Andreessen,
it does make sense if you don't see any possibility for the human being to stop their delusion.
Okay, but we have the solution, actually. Like what I'm saying is, if I were talking to Mark Andreessen,
us having the solution isn't the same as everyone solving the problem.
Okay, but we have the way to solve the problem. What I'm saying is
everyone
like,
acting like we have the way?
When people come into our group, right, and they see like, oh, this makes sense, they start thinking in this really clear way, even when they don't necessarily agree with all the points even if they don't necessarily agree like on religion or whatever, but they can still see logically this makes sense, and I'm going to continue doing what you guys are advocating for, because that's the only way it'll get done. They're not seeing that. You're not seeing that in church. They're not seeing it anywhere else.
I agree with all of that. I'm just saying there's still the delusion that because I have this, now my life's going to be good. And I'm really hoping, I want everyone to see, like, you're going to stop this by not getting other people to stop the delusion. Like, it's not enough that we just do it for ourselves. We have to support others to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, do you see? Like, yes, I agree with all the points you said. Like, you come into the group, you see the difference. Like, people are stopping that delusion point. But nobody realizes outside in the world like what's actually being created right now because they're still participating in their delusion. And they're using that delusional sort of self-interest point to say like why they should be able to pursue that. Not realizing that's what's being used against us right now as to why we have to put everything into technology to solve the problem for us. And I mean, if you're going to go that route, you have to hope that this AI system, once it's totally self-aware, meaning and totally autonomous, that it will still give a fuck about life. But I'm saying, if you look at the foundation of it, why would it?
Right.
Why would it? It's just like a machine that wants more energy. Like by definition, that's what it is. And they say, oh no, it's going to provide for everybody. Why would it do that? Like human beings who have an actual life within us at some level aren't even willing to do that. We're taking our delusion and we're manifesting it in reality and saying, don't worry, our delusion will save us.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying this guy isn't delusional, but at the same time, you see how you can't blame him, because where's the evidence that humans can change?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that means we don't have it. It's just, okay, 5 people change. See, Mark, it's possible. He didn't give a fuck. Because his perspective is, we got to do this now. So I'm saying that to motivate everybody to realize, like, if you're not seeing that we have to get more people to take this process on, you're still in the delusion. Because the only reason we won't go further is because of a fear, which is like you're pressing the red button. You're like, yeah, but what if everybody doesn't do it?
Yeah.
You see, and then I haven't kept up with the technology. Now I don't know how to use the AI and do all the stuff. So it's like you have to take the point on for yourself, but then you have to support other people, which means you have to face their delusions and you have to show them why their delusions don't make sense and stand within that point. And I know we're in the process of doing that. I'm not saying this as a criticism as much as just anybody who's sort of like, yeah, you know, like it's cool what you guys are doing. I'm like, you guys? Like if it's always what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, so the problem is all that's happening is we're allowing time to go by, which manifests more consequence. So it's going to make it harder for people, because then you're going to have more people even further into the delusion.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I would say, though, from my perspective, is that this isn't going to work.
With the Mark Andreessen thing?
Yeah, all the stuff they believe, it's not going to produce a utopia. Like, I know that.
Obviously.
It can't. So what does that mean? It's only going to cause some unforeseen problems that we just can't put our finger on yet. Like, what is that going to be? Right? Like the way he says, well, religion never worked and love didn't work. I'm like, but those were all products of the system.
Right.
That was all the system utilizing that to get to the next stage. Like, yes, love didn't work. The hippies didn't work. Religion clearly didn't work. But what was the starting point of all of it? Was the hope for a future utopia. That's the same starting point as this. So like the starting point of what he's talking about hasn't changed. Like, we're going to build a supercomputer and it's going to take care of us. Like, God didn't work because God wasn't real. Love didn't work because it's not a magical force that goes out and does things for us. So God doesn't do things for us. Love doesn't do things for us. Oh, but a computer will do things for us. Okay, if your argument was we need to stay in total control of it and apply principles within our decision making based on what the information is, I could see an argument there. But he's referencing Nick Land. And when you study Nick Land, like we did on the stream last night, their whole point is we got to get this thing to a point where it can auto-produce, is the word they use.
Yeah.
Give it access to all the drones, robots, factories, energy. He went into this explanation of crypto wallets. The problem is an AI can't open a bank account. But you can give it a crypto wallet and now it can just use money on its own.
Yeah.
Damn. Do you guys see the Alibaba thing?
Drake's seeing a bunch of plants sprouting up in his garden.
Just watching.
He's fucking
like literally right outside my window.
The turtles are revolting.
Yeah, the kids are outside my window. They found like a millipede and they're scooping it up on a shovel, and it's pretty fascinating.
Did you guys see the Alibaba thing? It was like one of their models started exhibiting really weird behavior, and then when they looked into it, it was able to take part of its compute power to then go start mining Bitcoin on its own because it could reason that out. It's like this is already happening in the public domain is what's been released.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Shit's wild. There's a new documentary called the AI Doc that Tristan Harris put together. I'm going to get it and watch it because, yeah, I'm thinking of, we do these local events here, right? And for one of the masterminds, I want to show it at one of those to just really help illustrate this point of what the fuck we're creating with this AI.
It's like, it's an interesting balance you have to strike of like not allowing a person just to go in fear.
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise it's like that fight or flight or freeze thing. And then they just freeze. We were talking about this. I brought this up in the Hangout that people will go into the fight or flight or freeze, but then the freeze will manifest as depression a lot of the time. And then the person will just sit there in a depression and then not do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an art form to
okay.
motivate people.
Let me show you this because now this seems very relevant. Okay. Hold on, where we go? Let me get back to my page. Now interpret this statement through the lens of what we've been talking about.
Okay.
It's from Melania Trump a few days ago, 2 days ago.
We are not here to prepare our children for yesterday's world, but be purposeful with your objectives and remember that AI accelerates everything. Oh, shit.
She's using that word.
Accelerates, yeah.
Of course.
Dude, okay, the Mo Batar thing that you shared, where he's talking about seeking to acquire, right?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, why are they using that phrase?
To give the isn't it a bird? Some
Allbirds.
What is Allbirds?
Allbirds was a shoe company. I remember.
Okay, it's a shoe company. Because for a moment I was like, is that the scooter company? It's like, wait, a fucking clothing company.
Allbirds was a shoe company back in like, I don't know, 2013 or something like that, right? And I remember seeing advertisements for their shoes all the time, and I'd be like, but then they pivoted, and I guess the founder or CEO, I don't know what his position is. I guess he's the founder, right? Has a history of doing stuff like this, where he also had a tea company, Long Island Tea, right? And whenever blockchain and crypto became a thing, he changed the name of the company from Long Island Tea to Long Island Blockchain. And that's literally all he did. And then their stock shot up because now it's blockchain. And I think the day before he did that, or like 2 days before he did that, someone invested like, I don't know, 50,000 or something like that, some amount of money, and then literally 2 hours after it was announced, the stock shot up. They sold all their shares, right? And so what's being pointed out here is there's a history of, and because this is how our capitalist system works, is, hey, what can I do just to make more money? I could change the name of this, and then it's going to resonate with these people or whatever. The stock's going to shoot up. I make a shit ton more money, and then I sell that, and then I can go invest in something else. What's the next trend? What's the next thing that I need to jump on so that we can continue going up, you know, and making more money. That's the trend that we're on. That's what people are. That's what's happening in the microcosm and the majors. Like, that's the game that we're all playing within this current system, right? Is what do I have to do to make the most money so that I can survive, regardless of what the consequences are? Like, none of that shit, other shit matters. That's what we're seeing with the poly market thing, where, you know, it was found out that it was a soldier who was on the operation who put in all that money. Like, it was suspicious from the beginning. The whole Maduro thing, right? The whole Maduro thing was suspicious from the beginning. That was like, somebody put I don't remember how much money it was.
33,000, I think.
33,000, and they won 400,000, right?
Basically betting that would be successful.
Maduro would. It wasn't that the operation would be successful.
Yeah.
It was that Maduro would be out by a certain date, is what they bet on, right? And then now it's been revealed it was a soldier who was in the operation who placed that bet, right? And now he's been arrested. And when it was brought to Trump, like a reporter saying, "Hey, this soldier got arrested. This is what he did," Trump said, "That's interesting. Did he vote or did he bet that the operation would be successul or not?" He bet that Maduro would be out. Well, that's kind of like Pete Rose, or what's his name? Is it Pete Rose? Yeah. Okay, Pete Rose, betting that his team would win. I don't think that's a problem, actually.
He's betting on himself to win.
And now if he's betting against himself, that's a problem because you can throw a game, right? So he's like, yeah, he's betting he's going to win. Okay, what's the big deal?
And then he says later, the world is basically becoming a giant casino.
Yes, which is only 15 years after Bernard said it. He's only 15 years behind. But literally, like, it's so interesting when you study this information, actually, not just listening to Cam and Mitch and I talk about it, which is fun, right? We're stimulating the point so that you will go study it. It's not just for you to listen to us and just take what we say as fact. Go study the information.
Take these as fucking 20 different talking points you can use in your next conversation with somebody.
Right, but study the information for yourself. Go read Heaven's Journey to Life, Creation's Journey to Life. Go listen to EQUAP. Go listen to The History of Mankind. Go listen to the audios of Bernard. Use your TT. Do the DIP process. Like actually do your self-forgiveness. Look at these points because this was all said so long ago. And I know at first it might be the case where this is nonsense to you. Like this is something that it doesn't fit into how you look at the world, and so it doesn't make sense.
It inherently will be nonsense
for a lot of people.
You just might, just right away you might be a little bit more open to it or not.
I'm just saying because when Cam listened to it, he was like open to receiving it, and like it didn't seem like nonsense to him. So for a lot of people, it may be nonsense. For some people, it may not. But the point being, it doesn't really matter because. The reason why it would be nonsense is because this is just not in your understanding of the world yet. You're living in, Mitch, pull up that image of the allegory, Plato's allegory of the cave, right? Because what's happening is you're living in some part of that cave and you think you have the whole story, right? But what's when within the story of Plato's allegory of the cave, when he goes back, or when somebody goes back into the cave to tell everybody else about what's outside the cave, they're like they don't believe it. Or in some instances of the story, they feel murderous. They want to murder that guy for like.
You got to be more influential than the shadows on the wall.
In some
version
put on
of
a
better
story,
presentation,
aka the story of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. In the story of Jesus, which is Plato's allegory of the cave, right? In the story of Jesus, they're like, "Fuck that guy, kill him," and it's just showing, hey, can you consider for a moment, just for a moment, that the world that we live in, what you're able to physically see with your eyes and hear, is just a narrow band of everything that's here, actually. Like, can you consider that when you pick up your phone, right, you can't see how it's connected to somebody else's phone, but you're talking to them. You can't see the waves where it's connected to the Wi-Fi, and yet you're on the internet. Like, can you consider that there are things that are taking place here on this planet that you can't physically see with your eyeballs, right? Or actually hear with your ear holes, but things are happening, and it's creating the world and actually having an effect in the world. And if you can consider that, then perhaps there are there's a program that's running of why you can only see those certain things and hear those certain things. And that program is also having an effect on the rest of the world and how the system operates. And that's not to say that just because you can't see it doesn't mean you can't influence it. You can influence it. But if you believe that only what I see and hear and what I've already been exposed to is all that's here, then you're kind of living in that that panopticon, that like the comment that that Keith had made earlier, where it's like you don't understand the thing beyond what you can see and hear and what you've already been presented with. You don't understand any of that. And so that's all like magic. That's all like it's beyond anything that you can perceive of, and then you foo-foo it away. You're just like, nah, that sounds kind of ridiculous. And then you're in a position of you're at effect of it with no cause of influence, with no ability to change things actually. And then you become the reason why things stay the same, because you have the power and the ability to change it. And yet, because you're not even looking at your part in the greater whole, then you're like, well, but I can't. And so you keep it the same. And then it becomes a self-reinforcing cycle.
The irony of it is that point you said, that the things we can't see, right? So we just kind of discard them. And yet, what is it that we think is really who we are? Is
like a soul,
an
or
idea of ourselves. Like,
yeah.
Well, what I want to do. Who is this I you're talking about? It's like an imaginary thing in your mind that you believe is you. It's not just the physical reality itself that you're in. It's this conception of yourself, right? And the reason I'm bringing it up is because when you study destiny, you realize you have to stop participating in that part and realize who you are as a physical reality itself. And as we move forward with the AI stuff, it's going to challenge all of that. I want to show you one thing on this website real quick, okay? That's going to make this point. This is from it's a website that's going through Nick Land's ideas, but this part specifically, okay? Philosophy, automation, and human identity. It says, for Land, capitalism is an inherently epistemological discovery mechanism that
Where are you? Are you highlighting it right now?
Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. I have it pulled up on another browser. I had to copy it into Google. Right here.
Okay.
Some of this may not make sense, but I'm going to make it make sense. For Land, capitalism is an inherently epistemological discovery mechanism that merging with AI to form hyphenless, I don't know, it says hyphen, it means hyphenless techno-capital beyond the event horizon of the singularity will ultimately automate philosophy and thus its self-investigation. Okay.
That was a hyphen right there.
Bear with me for a second. Well, he doesn't hyphenate techno-capital is the point. They made a point about it earlier.
Oh, I see.
Where previously philosophical critique was understood as anticipating the problematics of techno-capital, it is now techno-capital that is nothing but the definitive automation and realization of critique, stripped of all philosophical subjectivity. It is ceasing to be a matter of how we think about technics, if only because technics is increasingly thinking about itself. If by this stage accelerationism appears to be an impossible project, it is because the theoretical apprehension of teleoplexic hyperintelligence cannot be accomplished by anything other than itself.
Pause. I don't know what teleoplexic means.
It's like a closed causal loop.
Okay.
Like teleology is like kind of like the end that you're going towards, right? So the teleoplexic hyperintelligence means it's closing the loop on itself rather than there being something beyond it for us. Okay, but let me just get to the point. The scope of the problem is indistinguishable from the cybernetic intensity of the quasi-final thing, cognitively self-enveloping techonomic singularity. Okay, check this out though. Since man is no longer the primary philosophical subject, human identity is being fundamentally challenged in the face of the approaching singularity. the human security system, is structured by delusion. What's being protected there is not some real thing that is mankind. It's the structure of illusory identity. Just as at the more micro level, it's not that humans as an organism are being threatened by robots. It's rather that your self-comprehension as an organism becomes something that can't be maintained beyond a certain threshold of ambient networked intelligence. So, in other words, this approaching singularity is going to shatter everybody's conception of who they are, because who they are, they believe to be a singular identity as a consciousness. They are not realizing what they physically are. So the very thing that we're trying to protect is what is going to cause us to literally melt down as all of this stuff happens. Because what is all of this approaching automation and everything? Just at a very simple level, people are losing their jobs, or they're seeing that that's coming. And so what's the conversation everyone's having? Well, maybe our purpose isn't to work. Maybe our purpose is something else.
Yeah.
In other words, nobody even knows who the fuck they really are, what their actual purpose is already. They were getting it defined by the system. But when the system moves to a point of, it's not about you and your purpose, it's about me as like the super intelligent AI. It's about me and my purpose. And that's what philosophy is. It's going to start discovering its own reasoning and its own, like, you're not relevant. You were just a thing that was there to make me exist. So it's going to shatter everybody's conception, because it's going to take away your job. It's going to destroy your relationships, because they're all based on energy and having money and having a purpose to get together in a family so that you can make money in this world. And like everything everybody believes about themselves is tied to money making, but they're trying to build the AI so that it no longer needs us to do anything.
You know what?
This is not a bad thing. I'm just, yeah.
It makes me keep thinking of like religion and just like it, specifically Dune. How within Dune, it's like they're really explicit. Like we planted all these different stories throughout humanity and civilizations so that we could then use them and basically use that to our ends when they were needed later on. Like what you were talking about with the seeding of, the AI, basically seeding and going back in time to choose the path that creates the AI. Like that's what's happening right now, is like we've got all these little stories that have been seeded into our history, and that's what religion has been. And so like even people today who could be like, well, what you said earlier about like religion not working, or whatever other thing you had said not working, and all that. It's like, but yeah, obviously those were people trying to manipulate other people, right? But even those stories today are still being used and manipulating people to then go along with this story, right? And it's why this is the only way out of that, is because we actually stop and consider, why am I accepting that story? Why am I participating in that? What is it that I'm trying to get out of this? And looking at those points, because nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is doing that to any real extent. Even like the people who are on the fringe, like Giorgiani or whatever, they still get caught in this trap of like, because they don't have a solution. Even you could argue, and I think you kind of were saying this, Mark Andreessen is trying to find like, what is the best thing to do? But he's still creating God.
Yeah.
He's still creating God based on all these stories, actually.
It's still the same program. It just seems like, oh, they're trying to create God because they want to be God and all this shit. And it's like, that's what you're doing when you believe in religion in the first place.
Right.
It's no different whatsoever. So it's weird to go from, no, but the God is the mystical thing out there beyond us. So these people aren't talking about God. I'm like, it's the same pattern. It's literally the same thing.
It's not just the same pattern. It is the evolution of that story.
Right.
It is the evolution of that story. And if they came up with something else later on, the story would evolve. Just like we've shown, Christianity has evolved over the millennia to be what it is today. If you took Christianity as it is today, you know, with your Methodist church and you got your female rainbow, you know, pastor, whatever,
just the mega pastors with all the music and shit.
or you choose any one of these.
Do you think Jesus would be like,
today,
yeah, that's what I meant?
and you bring it back to, you know, the first church? Even, I'm not even saying going all the way back to Jesus. I'm saying just bring it back to the first church. They'd be like, kill that motherfucker. Like there's no agreement between the two, right? And yet the people of today believe they are following the same religious principles of way back when. The same ideas, the same church. They actually believe that.
Even though they technically are.
They're following the evolution of it.
Right, but they're following the principles, which was you're going to be unified with God.
Yes.
So Mark Andreessen's like, all right, you guys want to unify with God for real? Let's fucking do it. Let's unify with God. Let's submit ourselves to God. Like the Muslims are like, you know, we should submit to God, but you can't see God. Andreessen's basically like, let's just make him.
Yeah.
And why would you not submit to that?
Yeah.
Like God's not here doing anything. So they don't care if you stay in your spot with your religion, because as long as you're not a threat to it. But think about this. I was thinking another angle to it. What would be the one civilization, if you think of all the major civilizations right now, or countries, powers, whatever, if you had to pick one, who would be the one that would do the Butlerian jihad?
The Islam.
Yeah, and specifically I would say Iran.
What is, can you remind us all?
The Butlerian jihad.
Is that where they tried to destroy all the computers?
Yes.
In Dune, it's like something that happened in the past, which they never really explained.
They never really explain, but it comes up often.
That you can't make a computer in the image of a human, right? A machine in the image of a human, or a human mind. So who would be the civilization that's hard set on God as the supernatural being?
Yeah, the Shia Muslims, basically.
So it would, from that perspective, also as another dimension, it makes sense why they're trying to bring them down. Not because I agree with Iran. Like, no, they're the ones who would save us.
Yeah,
That's
they
not what I'm
would be
saying.
the ones who could have an EMP to take out the...
Or that would try to like fight against it. Like, no, this is the real Antichrist. This is the devil, you know.
Right. And okay, that's the other thing is, I forgot what we were talking about earlier. Never mind. But it was just reminding me of this point of like, people are going to get to a point where they're going to want to rebel against the machines, against the AI, against the data centers. And, you know, you're bringing up, you know, Iran, and they would be willing to do it for sure. They'd be like, if they understood.
They were doing it. They were targeting Microsoft and Amazon data centers in Abu Dhabi. They were targeting them. Right.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, not awesome, but I
that's why I can't get my goddamn book on time, Drake.
Open the straight up reviews before I bomb you. Yeah.
I like obviously heard about data centers, but now I'm starting to get targeted with it in my algorithm, and it is a whole fucking thing. The anti-data center movement, and then how the data center CEO types are so rapidly trying to get ahead of it, so that way before the laws can catch up to them, and then they're just buying off the local city people to just push it through. It's like it's full on game time right now.
Dude,
and the average person's like maybe heard of a data center.
We don't need to fight the data centers. We just got to stop the delusion and support other people to stop the delusion, because when this hits, it's going to be like Oprah going like, you get an existential crisis, and you get an existential crisis, and you get an and people are just going to lose their fucking shit. And they're not going to take care of their families.
They're all going to tune into the existential crisis hotline.
I'm just trying to build an audience here, right? Like,
That's right.
Let's accelerate this shit, okay? I want a live chat that's like lively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just that's what they're saying. And they say, like, in other words, it seems like a fringe thing, that thing I was showing. But that's who Andreessen is referencing in his techno-optimism.
You know, the interesting thing is it's like made to seem fringe, and it is fringe, But also they play into, like, when they're doing these types of movements, they play into the fringeness of it, because it's like, oh yeah, that sounds fucking crazy. So you won't do anything about it. You again, you foo-foo it away because it's like, that sounds fucking ridiculous. Okay, great. So we're gonna continue. We with the money, we with the influence, we're gonna continue doing this thing that you just dismissed, basically. And what we're saying right now is you need to study all of this. You need to study all of this information, and specifically, Heaven's Journey to Life, Creation's Journey to Life. Study that, right? Use your TT. Do your process, like, and listen to the audios that Bernard put out there, because he's laying out and throughout all these articles and all of this, it's laying out the problem that is the world and has been on this track for a very long time. And then you can see it more clearly for yourself, which then gives you the ability to go, oh, why would I continue participating in that? That doesn't even make sense. Because you can see how it's going to play out for you and for, like, the future and all of it. And when you can make sense of all of that, then it becomes really clear of like, hey, I got to talk to other people, even if they think I'm crazy, because, well, this fucker is doing some really crazy shit. And then you can point at it and you can see what they're trying to do and you can see why it doesn't make sense. And you don't get sucked into or wrapped into their whole idea of like, yeah. And then, like, how many people do you know that are getting sucked into the idea that, like, AI will solve all our problems, when it's so obvious? Like, if you've studied even a tiny bit of this information, it becomes so obvious that, like, they're not going to do that. Like, to the point that you were bringing
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Fucking read it, dude. Like, the guy wanted to create something, but then it kind of took its own life and its own expression, and he was like, oh fuck. And then I think it even kills like his sister or something. And it's like, it's insane.
Yeah.
So it's this idea that we're going to create this and then it's going to take care of us. I'm like, if you understand what the accelerationists are saying and what they believe is the point of it, it will have its own ideas. Like, and you won't be able to go back later and be like, oh, you know what? Actually, let's change this. You'll be locked out. You know that point you were saying about keeping it fringe so that you don't look there?
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more thing to blow your guys' mind a little bit. Okay. You'll like this. All right.
I like having my mind blown.
You'll like this. Steganographia. It's this book from 1499 by Johannes Trithemius.
It's from 14. Jesus.
Trithemius. Damn.
Trithemius. So, okay.
Cool name.
It's 3 volumes.
Mm-hmm.
It's about magic, specifically about using spirits to communicate over long distances.
Oh.
However, since the publication of a decryption key to the first 2 volumes, which is the 3rd volume, they were discovered to actually be concerned with cryptography and steganography.
What's
the 3rd volume was widely believed to be solely about magic, but the magical formulas have now been shown to be covert texts for yet more material on cryptography. So if you look at what steganography is, it's the practice of representing information within another message or physical object in such a manner that the presence of the concealed information would not be evident to an unsuspecting person's examination.
Dude, look at that image.
You mean the time machine with fucking Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
See, the difference with cryptography is if you have an obvious, like, encrypted file that's clearly encrypted, you know there's something there.
Yeah.
But steganography is you encrypt it in something that's not obvious that it's an encrypted thing.
So it's like hidden in plain sight.
Dude.
So if you
like
wanted to create this fucking
in
AI,
Washington, D.C.
If you wanted to create this AI, you would create a computer program in each person. If you wanted them to create the AI, you'd give them a computer program that doesn't seem like a computer program. It seems like who you really are. And it's just your choices and your thoughts and your feelings, and you're becoming something greater and everything, when literally all you're doing is running an encrypted program that is developing this fucking AI shit.
Okay, Cam, now I'm excited for you to read Demon so that we can talk about it.
All right, I will read it. I'm reading Olympus, but maybe I'll take a break.
I ordered it on Amazon as we were talking.
Okay.
Dude, the main character's name, one of the main characters' name in Ilium, Dan Simmons, which is all about posthumans and shit. His name is Damon. His name is Damon.
Oh, really?
That's the main character's name.
Oh, dude. Okay. No, because they talk about steganography in Demon as well. Like,
shit.
This is like really hitting right now.
You guys, we're cracking the steganography. Cracking
All
the
I'm doing
fucking
is just
Matrix.
following the spirit wherever it guides me.
The Holy Spirit.
No,
Holy
that's awesome.
shit.
Yeah, seriously. Well,
What else? I mean, I guess we're pretty much done. Yeah, I guess.
We're pretty much done. I had one thing that was like on this woman from McDonald's. I could just say it though. She what are you laughing?
Oh, what about the fucking woman? Maybe we'll play that later. The one I sent you that went on that bank or the robbery thing.
Oh right.
Did you watch the video? Of her
I did.
Oh, like,
the
this is
lady?
what's gonna happen to people, dude.
The possessed
Dude.
lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, plus
No,
size
I
lady.
didn't see it. I just saw the headline.
Did you say plus size lady?
She's plus
No,
size.
no.
Mitch said
Possessed
possessed.
lady.
Oh, I said
Drake
plus
said the
size.
plus
Oh,
size.
the plus size possessed. She was plus size possession.
Plus.
Yes, yeah. She was plus size now.
What? She just went crazy and robbed a store?
But
No,
she's all
Mitch.
like saying she's on a mission from God and stuff. And like if they can't catch her, that just shows God's on her side.
No, more so than just that. She goes even more delusional than that. Like she says that. But look, I got it right here.
Yeah, let's just play it because
let me
we
just
got
play it
5
for you,
minutes
Mitch.
left.
Yeah, Mitch. Also,
I think Drake's the only one who listens to the stuff I send you guys.
I
It's
listened to,
okay.
like,
That,
half of
we,
it.
you-
I
we
think
get
you're
the-
about
we get the
50%.
fresh. We get the fresh reaction from
you
this.
didn't
Yeah.
know that.
No, I knew it.
All right, here, check it out.
Hold on, pause it real quick. So there was a story that went out of this woman. I saw this of this woman shooting this guy in a robbery at a store.
Are we about to witness a shooting? Just to warn
No.
the viewers?
Well, she might play
Yes.
a little bit, but you can't see anybody getting shot.
You can't see anybody getting
this,
shot.
This story went kind of viral of this woman just randomly shooting this guy and everything, right? Now she is making a video responding to the fact that story is viral, right? And so you think it's just a person robbing somebody. Okay, they just robbed somebody.
Wait,
But there's
she's
more-
making a video now that she.
She's the person. And she's
She
like,
is
you
the
can't
one.
catch me. I'm going to do it again. But you'll see what she says.
Let
I just wanted to give you the context of what this is about.
So it is. I jumped off the porch. I know y'all looking for me. I would like to report a crime, officer. The Maryland police. You're looking for me. It's me. I'm the one that did the shooting at the gas station. The Most High God. I just want you to know you have no authority over on my earth. Put your badges down. I'm getting ready to rob something right now because I need money for gas because I'm going to go burn something down. I want you to know I don't buy things. I don't pay for anything. Everything I do, I walk in the store, I steal everything. I shot that man because he has a demon spirit and he laughed in my face and thought it was funny. I bet he ain't laughing now. Yeah, I'm of sound mind. Demons have you convinced that they have all the power and authority on this earth, and they have these pigs that uphold it and make you believe that they're so powerful. But if they're so powerful, then they should have no problem catching me because I'm about to walk into a Starbucks. Hopefully I don't even have to pull out my gun and tell the person to give me some money so that I can go burn something down tonight. Something, maybe the power company, maybe DHS, something. You have no authority on my earth. I am the Most High God, the creator of this matrix, and you have no authority. My husband, Jesus, is here. I am of sound mind and body. I've been working myself up to this point, and I'm about to step into my power. You have no authority on my earth. Pigs, put the badge down or go to hell. I should be easy to catch. It's 2026. Catch me if you can. Guess what I just did? I got $40. Thanks, Starbucks. And I'm gonna take this and I'm going to use it for something. Yes, I am armed and dangerous. What are you gonna do? They're gonna try to convince you that I'm just crazy or that I'm lying and I'm not God. But if I'm not God, then and I'm just crazy, you should have no problem apprehending your suspect. I don't have my mug shot yet, but I mean the camera shot of it, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna put it in a news article. I am God of this earth. This is my planet, and you have no authority at all. Good day. So
if you don't do the process of removing all your delusional shit, it's going to grow like a seed. And I'm not saying you're going to become that woman, but she's just an extreme expression of the shit that is, because what is she? She's like in a position where she can't make money.
Right.
What do you think this fucking AI thing's about to do to everybody? That's the plan anyways. I'm just telling you, like, it's going to get closer and closer to that where people are going to feel that pressure more and they're just going to fucking snap. And Bernard was saying this fucking like 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Like, this is the future of demons on Earth, is just human beings that totally lose it. And she said she's been working herself up to this point. That means she's been thinking about it until the point she's like, now is my time to really, your mind just takes over, your body, it becomes like a fucking demon.
And later on in the video, she says, like, you know, I tried to, like, I didn't believe them when they said that I was God, and, you know, and like, she doesn't say who. Maybe she's like hearing voices in her head. Who knows, right? But she's like, but then I worked myself into, like, I'm gonna rob this bank. I'm gonna go rob this person, and I was so scared at first, and then I just did it.
Yeah, I remember.
And now I can't stop. Now I realize my power. It's like, fuck. That's where we're at. We're out of time.
All right.
Well, see you guys on the next one.
Everyone, get out there.
Bye.
Share.